And welcome to the show. Finally, we finally got it. I have so many clothes on because it is freezing. Let me fix my turtleneck. I neglected to do that. I have so many clothes on because it is cold up in here. And I tell you, after I got that almost $300 light bill, I went and got me some sweatpants and sweat coats and sweat stuff. And I turned that heater off. But today I had to give up. I just said, I can't do this because I need to do the show. I don't want to be here with my teeth chattering. So I turned the heater on, at least while I do this show. So welcome, you guys. And everybody sent me thanks. Nice notes about my busted up foot. I don't know what it is. I mean, somebody who knows about spiritual things. Why do I keep hurting my feet and ankles? Mainly my feet. I keep injuring them. I don't know what that's about, but it's something that's been a repetitive pattern for the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, 6 or 7 years maybe. And like I was in a boot a couple of times. It's just I don't know what's going on with me. So when I get hurt, it's all in that region of my body. Hold on a second. Let me get some water. And then, of course, with allergy season in full effect, your girl be over here been just having problems. As my grandfather used to say, issues. So, yeah. So let us get started with this wonderfulness because, as to make it up for you guys, we combine two things. You're going to get one of those. I just saw what Ash said. That's a good one. Yeah, it's this weather. It's been bipolar. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, yes, button. Thank you. That's exactly what I said. Except mine had just a whole bunch of bad words after it and before it when I saw it. I went marching over there with that bill still in my hand, turned that heater down to 60. Make sure it never came back on. And then, we had some hot days where we were like, I was looking at, do I need to go and buy me some fans? I mean, what's going on here? But, that faded away quickly enough. Then the rain came back and now it's rainy and cold again. So this is the kind of stuff that gets you sick, because it's just, and your body doesn't really have time to get used to it. So it's been kind of an interesting thing. Plus I'm limping. It's just like, it's been a hot mess. So let's get started since we have 40 questions today. I'm also going to make the mic available. So if somebody wants to call in with a question, it's going to cost you $10 though. It's not going to be free. You can do that too, but you make your $10 payment with Cashapp over here on YouTube or Cashapp or you can do the YouTube super chat. I just realized I forgot my phone again. But I'll go get it when we take a break. Yes, this is really a live show. Hey, Sliver. What, you think I'm going to record one? When I record, what do I do? It doesn't see up in the corner where it says live. Can you guys see that? I guess maybe that's only me. But anyway, yeah, this is a live, and this is 40 questions. And so I'm going to get started. Yeah, it was 65. It was like 57 degrees in the town over from me the other night, and I was like, ew.
I don't do well in cold weather. My mother used to like it. I prefer warm, not super hot, but I'd rather deal with the heat than the cold. I can't do it. Oh, I'm organizing my things here. All right, let's move on here. We got cancel. I don't want that. What are you talking about? Okay, let's do question number 1. This is a female in the 35 to 42 age group from the UK. Same issue. How do I deal with a friend who is always 30 to 40 minutes late? I had a friend like that. My friend, quote, C, is habitually late. Not 5 to 10 minutes, but I'm talking about 30 to 45 minutes late. And it doesn't matter if we've been meeting for coffee, going for a night out, or simply going on a walk. When I pick her up, I notify her in advance of my time of arrival, and she acknowledges it, but somehow I sit outside the house for 10 to 15 minutes before she finally even comes out. We're both single in our late 30s, and neither of us have kids. Okay, she's late 30s, and this is who she is. She ain't changing. She acknowledges that she has time management issues and vows to do better, yet there's no improvement. Is she always late to work too? That's my big question. If she has a job and she is always 30 to 45 minutes late going to work, then unless she has that kind of flex schedule type of job, which she might do, then how does that working out? Why can't she be on time then for work, but not for you? That would be my question. So let's read on here. We've been friends for 5 years and she's always been this way. It really bothers me, and I have brought it up several times, but there's always an excuse. She has been dealing with a few life challenges and setbacks, so I don't feel like I can be honest with her because it feels like I'm kicking her while she's down. Kick away. On top of the lateness, she's always going through a crisis. Her dependence on me can be overwhelming and suffocating. Her reactions to normal life issues are severely overblown, and I don't know how to tell her rather that I can't handle her hysteria. I'm talking about screaming, crying over bad news, difficulty finding parking, a fight with her boyfriend. Oh, she just got that histrionic personality disorder. Look, got a video on the channel about that. Look at it so you can see that's your friend. I'm talking about men though, but she got it too. I'm seeking advice on how to have an honest and direct conversation about my feelings with someone who is unlikely to receive it well. She has redeeming qualities and I value her friendship, but I just can't keep blurting my feelings and putting time aside just to protect her feelings. Well, I'm going to say this. When you're talking about your feelings, you're not going to talk about your feelings. You're going to talk about the fact, which is that that you guys are supposed to meet at a certain time and she never meets the agreed upon time. Stick to facts. Because when you have people like this and you start talking about your feelings, they don't care. They can't connect because they're like narcissists and all they care about is their own feelings, what they want and what's important, like what's right in their face. So she's thinking about, well, I want this other lipstick. Where is it? In fact, the fact that you're sitting outside in the cold waiting hasn't crossed her mind that I can just wear this other lipstick. No, it has to be this lipstick. So she's going to tear up her house and spend 10, 15 minutes looking for it in all her purses and stuff until she finds that lipstick that she wants to wear. It's just an example. I'm not saying that's what she's doing, but it's an example of how they focus on themselves and what they want versus, agreements they have and responsibilities with other people. So my suggestion would be that you start putting in some really strong boundaries. Say, I'm going to pull up at such and such a time, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you aren't outside and ready to get in the car in that time, I'm going to go back home, or I'm going to go by myself, and you're just going to get there the best way you can. And then start doing it. That's what you have to do. See, you're complaining as you've been like this for 5 years, but you haven't done anything. She suffered no repercussions for the way that she treats you because you just always show up anyway and you wait for her. You also don't speak up about her, bombarding you and dumping her emotional garbage on you. And, at some point you're just gonna have to tell her, look, this thing where think you want to scream and act hysterical and stuff about bullshit. It's like, this is stupid. I don't want to hear this. Don't you work my nerves with this kind of nonsense anymore. I'm done. Okay. That's all you have to do. You're not putting together any boundaries. Oh, Shay is there. Oh, hey, Shay. Yeah. I just can't do people like that. I would Those are my suggestions anyways. You haven't put any boundaries in place for this woman, and she's suffered no, you know, no punishments for the way that she's been acting. You just stay right there, just as steady as a rock. I mean, you sound like you would be a really good friend to have, but she doesn't deserve you. Okay? Don't deserve you. And that's the part that you don't seem to get yet. So anyway, I just wanted you guys to know I'm also going to make um you guys can call in if you have a question and you want to do the, live question thing. It's $10. It ain't free. It's $10 and you get your question answered right here as part of this show. You can send it via Cash App to Debsterism with, the Cash App thing, Debsterism, or you can make make a YouTube super chat thing. It's $10 for those of you in Canada and the UK. It's US $10. Okay. Let's move on to question number 2. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from Chicago. Summary of issue. How can I tell her that I'm not interested without breaking her heart? You certainly have a high opinion of yourself, don't you? Like she's gonna be all on the floor, ground, Thank you, Cece. I know you might. Do you have a question? If you don't, then thank you. I appreciate it. Without breaking her heart. Hi, ladies of the squad. I'm a chef, and I just started work in a new place. A waitress is hitting on me a bit too hard for my comfort level. I don't want any off-work relationship with anyone, but she lives very, very close to my house, and she wants to hang out after work. How can I not sacrifice my professionalism with her and just basically say no? Thanks in advance, Deb. You're going to do just like I tell women. Dude, I mean, this is not hard. All you have to do is say, look, I do not mix business with pleasure. There will never be any outside involvement with any of the staff here because I don't roll like that. So you were looking for romance and a good time, you need to look somewhere else. And she's gonna say, well, I just wanted to be friends. She's gonna feel embarrassed, right? So I just was trying to be friends. I don't need a friend. I need a job. And right now, I don't really see where being friends with anybody here out of my 8-hour workday or 10, whatever you guys do, is going to be beneficial to me. So the answer to that question is no. Of course, I'll be friendly while we're here. But this thing, you looking like you're trying to like hit on me and stuff. I don't appreciate it. I want you to stop doing it. Maintain your professionalism at all times, and I'll do the same. Now, you might think, oh, that's too harsh. That's, it's going to hurt her, this and that. You're not talking about her. It's not saying, there's anything wrong with her. You're not putting her down. You're not making yourself seem better than her. You're not telling her that she's a desperate hussy, which is what I would say. To be trying to stalk somebody on the job like that, where you're like, sitting you're sitting duck. And when people do that kind of stuff, whether it's male or female, it's just wrong. And so that's how you're going to have to come at her. Listen to what I just said, memorize it. And then the next time that she comes at you, I want you to pull her, get her arm and say, meet me over there. And she's going to think it's going to be for some good time. She's going to be all smiles. And you're going to hit her with that speech. Then you're going to make a U-turn. You're going to come back. Okay. Well, the thing, Ash, just like with the women. Have you noticed that the guys that write to this column, I mean, except for maybe one or two, are very nice men. Did you notice that? They're concerned about, how they're going to deliver the message. If they want to deliver it in a way that's going to cause the least emotional damage for the woman. They want to be polite. They want to be a gentleman. They have concerns. So they take the time to write to get suggestions. So the fact that they do that, and with, the girls too, it's like these are people who don't really know what to do. No one's ever taught them these kinds of things. So I give them a script. That's what I do. Give them a script. They can put their own spin on it, of course. Me, I'm just very direct. I'm not going to be adding a whole bunch of flowery words like please and thank you and all this kind of stuff. I'm just going to tell you what you're going to do and how it's going to be, and you're going to like it. And that's just the way it is. So even if you don't like it, it's still what's going to happen. So either way, you're going to like it or you're going to die trying to like it. But either way, I'm done here and I've said my piece. But, not everybody's like that. Some people are very, very concerned about, being nice and all this little stuff here. I'm like, you know. Oh, no questions, CC. Oh, well, thank you then. Yeah, I used to do that, what was that thing called? I don't know, it was popular for a while and, people could sign up and they could make, regular monthly donations to it. But they just like Facebook, man, they just take so much of it, it's just ridiculous. So you don't really, I mean, it looks like you're getting hundreds of dollars a month, but they taking half of it, so you don't you don't really get that much. So I was like, well, yeah, Patreon. And I closed that account. Yeah, it was Patreon. I closed it. I'm like, these crooks. I'm out of here. So, I just do this and it's fine. Yeah, I closed it. I guess it works for some people. I mean, if you're getting a whole bunch of money, I guess, you're still getting a whole bunch of money, even if you only have. But, I mean, it wasn't that much. It was just a couple $100 for this channel because, at the time it really wasn't that big. Still not huge, but, we got more people than we used to. Question number 3. This is a male rather, 28 to 34. He's from South America. The female in question is 28 to 34 as well. So he writes, okay, okay, it's 2 pages, all right. He writes, summary of issue. My girlfriend wants me to be the only provider while she studies. I'm not comfortable with that. How do I manage this? By opening your mouth and saying, no, hell no, nada. I don't know how to say hell no in Spanish, but, ain't happening. Just put in Google Translator for those if you can't understand it. But it looks like you wrote some pretty good English, so you must know English. Okay, okay. I'm 29 and my girlfriend is 28, and been together for about a year and a half. We currently live separately. About a month ago, we had a conversation where she asked me about plans for the near future for us to live together. I want to live with her. I love her very much, and we get along very well. The problem is that she doesn't work. She is currently studying for a government position that is highly sought after in my country that takes her full-time commitment for the study. She lives with her parents, but their relationship is not the best and she wants to move out. This is the kicker though. She expects me to pay for the household and all the bills while she is studying. We don't know when and if she's going to pass and get this position. It will probably take years. Wow. I currently don't earn very much, but this is expected to improve long term. However, I'm not comfortable in being the only provider. I told her that, and her reaction was not the best. She told me that she felt alone and that I was not enthusiastic enough. Okay. I don't know if I'm being too selfish, but I cannot financially and mentally be the only provider right now or in the near future. If both of us could be the providers, then that would be a different conversation. How do you and the ladies listening think that this should be managed? I think you should tell her, guess what, dear? When you get a job, then we'll talk about you moving in together. But until that happens, you're going to stay here with your parents because they're responsible for you. I'm not. You know why? Because you're not my wife. And then she's going to see, well, why can't we get married? And you're going to be, no, because you broke. I don't want to marry somebody who's broke. I don't want somebody who's going to be looking for me to take care of them like that. It's not going to happen. So, I mean, I love you and everything, but I love my money more. I know you're not going to say that, but I sure would be thinking it. But yeah, something along those lines. Thanks, Lacey. You know, and for her to try to like be manipulative, see, that's the part that's making me upset. The part where she's not going to say, oh, well, yeah, I understand or anything. I'll work hard. I'll make sure I pass, next time they take the test. That you're not enthusiastic enough. What are you supposed to be enthusiastic about taking care of somebody who's broke? Why would that be enthusiastic? I mean, that's your girlfriend, so you're already screwing her. So, I mean, what's the big deal? See, that's the thing why it becomes a challenge when women try to act like they have this high value and stuff, and that a man should always want them and everything. I mean, if he's already getting everything that you got to give for free, and you trying to use that as a bargaining chip to marry him or to move in with him, it's not going to happen. I mean, unless he just, wants to. But like that, she's trying to pressure him into it, and as you see, it's not enough. That she ain't offering enough value for dude to want to go down that path. I hate to use that word, but I mean, that's what it is because men flatly look for a good deal. They look for a good deal, and that's a woman who's gonna meet and exceed what whatever their needs are at that moment. Those needs do change. But, at that moment, when you talking about you want him to commit to you, you want him to get engaged and marry you, you want all that stuff, he has to see where his life is gonna be better because he brings you into it in that role. If you coming in with brokenness, stupidity, a bunch of baby daddies and raggedy ass kids that don't know how to act, them baby ass kids, you got weird parents, you got drug addicted relatives that want to steal everything. I mean, these are all things that men are going to be looking at. And they're not going to see where you're going to be bringing any kind of peace and wonderfulness to their life. I mean, they're going to tap it at every opportunity. I'm not talking about that. But I mean, to bring you in, so to give you keys to the kingdom where you like sharing households and bank accounts with them and stuff. He's not going to do that. Well, she needs to be focusing instead of trying to figure out how to escape her situation and get him to take care of her instead of her daddy. She needs to be studying, doubling down with her studying and make sure that she passes that test. That's what she needs to do. You know. Well, she's out, she's not paying for school. If she's paying, she wants somebody to take care of her while she studies for school. Evidently, she already got the study materials. It's just a matter of studying for them. Parents probably bought it. But she just has to go up, do that. And she thinks dude is gonna take care of her like, she's like this precious angel and all this old stuff here. And dude is like, I ain't balling like that. I love her and stuff. I do want to live with her, but not like that. And so she needs to understand that she's not offering him a good deal. She's offering him, more brokenness and debt and financial expense that he really can't shoulder right now. So she gonna end up staying right with her daddy, as they say, her daddy Nim. That's what's gonna happen to her. Okay, question number 4. This is a female in a 20 to 34 age group from New Mexico. Separate issue. Is my relationship doomed because I don't like his parents? My partner is quite close rather to his parents. He is autistic. Oh God, every time I talk to these autistic ass dudes. More on the mild scale, but things do go over his head a lot. I have told him about this, but he doesn't see it. His parents quite obviously don't like me. I'm done doing nothing. I've done nothing wrong. They like the other daughter-in-law, but for some reason not me, because you ain't the daughter-in-law. You just the girlfriend. They all go on holidays together and we aren't invited. They make zero effort with me or asking about their granddaughter. It was getting me down, so I started to distance myself. I no longer make an effort to speak to them or invite them to things and because they just make excuses. I remove myself from group chats. So where I'm not part of, I've tried, but they are a clique. I don't know what she's trying. I guess she tried to be there, but they're a clique. Okay. I've racked my brain as to what I've done, but I can't find anything. It's not money, as I have my own house, and so does he. He lives at mine and rents his out. I am who I am, and I can't manage that. I would love a nice relationship as I don't have the harsh upbringing that it's not happening. Are we doomed now? I think it will hurt him because he can't see what they're doing. But being around them is really getting me down. I don't want to go visit them and not even be greeted or offered a drink or even spoken to. Wow, so you in their house, they don't offer you anything, they don't even speak to you? How would you handle this, Deb? I would have cussed them all out, personally. See, first, my thing is like, what? Okay, if I went around them the first time and they acted like that, I'd have been like, you some slimy motherfuckers. Ain't nobody coming back here because I don't need your bitch asses. And then I would have got my stuff and left. It's like, don't even think about calling me. Don't look for me. Don't look for no gifts from me. Forget you know me and forget you know my child. Now, your raggedy ass son, you deal with him if you want to, but me and my daughter are considered not part of this family and never will be. I don't care what you say. And then I would go on out the door, and that would be the end of that. And my child would be like, well, I'm going to go see Grammy. You don't have a Grammy. It's a bitch. And one thing you're not going to be doing is being related to that kind of person. So don't you ever say that shit to me again. And she would learn real quick. That's not happening. Now, as far as the boyfriend goes and him not seeing it, he sees it, but he just doesn't know what to do about it because he sounds like he's afraid of the confrontation. So he just lets them get away with what, they're doing, and you need to understand that. He's hiding behind his autism like, I don't get it. But, he gets it. He sees it. It's too blatant for him not to. But, you just sitting up there in the house and they not saying nothing to you and he can't see that? See, that's what I'm saying. You're making excuses for him because you don't want to blow, you don't want to blow him up. But yeah, that really wouldn't work for me. No, that wouldn't work at all. I wouldn't be able to be with a man who acted like that towards me and his own child just because it's his parents. That wouldn't work. So I don't know what you're gonna do here, I wouldn't say that your relationship is doomed, but you need to understand, like I said, what time it is with your dude. He ain't about you. He don't have your back like what you think. And and the relationship with the parents is a wash. So I like the approach where you're just distancing yourself and going on with your business, but you and him are gonna have to come to some kind of negotiation about the child. Because one thing you don't want him to do is take the kid over there and for them to treat that little baby like they do you. That's going to damage her, because as she gets older, she don't understand what's happening, and it's going to damage her mentally and emotionally. So, I don't know how you're going to do that because with him being the father, he will have the rights to take him around his family. And so since he acts like he don't understand nothing, he would be putting that child at an emotional risk just because he's, want to play stupid with you. So you better think about this. You better put some protections in place, especially since y'all ain't married. He only gonna have the protection that he either fights in courts for or that you give him, because he ain't nothing but the baby daddy. Okay. And these types of dudes don't tend to really be fighters. So he's not gonna fight his own parents. He's not gonna fight you in court. So you need to think about what you're gonna do to protect your daughter from them people. Okay. Put some shit in place right now. This is way more serious than what you think. And I don't know. I mean, it'd be one thing for me to not speak to him, but you're not gonna mistreat my child because I will slay all you motherfuckers and won't be no problem for me. So see, that's where I draw the line. That's what I'm saying. You need to get in front of this and do something about protecting your child since her own father's going to play stupid. Question number 5. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from the UK. Some issue. I cannot get over my husband wearing women's lingerie. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. She says, I cannot get over my husband wearing women's lingerie. Okay, so long story short, and thank you. This happened months ago, but I haven't been able to get over it. So now I'm wondering if we should just split up. I caught my husband several months ago wearing my Sezzy lingerie. This was a complete shock as he is a quote manly man. He said he's done it a couple of times, but he's done it. He will never do it again. But a few weeks later, I found him in his garage at 3 a.m, surrounded with mirrors and playing with, butt toys. He had been going in the garage in the middle of the night for weeks, and at weeks on end at that point. We had a lengthy chat, and he said that it was never happened again, and he threw out all the stuff and hasn't been going into the garage other than doing for normal garage type stuff. But I just can't get it out of my head. I just can't get over it all. It's changed the way I view him. Last night I told him that it was over and he was devastated, and we have 2 children together and have been together for nearly 11 years. He's been crying today saying he doesn't know what to do if he hasn't got his family, and he's really broken. I've never seen him cry before. I don't know what to do. See, this is the thing that kills me about these men with all these freaky ass proclivities. You knew that your wife wasn't going to be like down with it. That's why you was trying to hide it so well. But don't you think getting up at 3 a.m. when you sleep in the bed next to somebody, they're going to eventually like wake up looking for you and figure out where you are and find you and stuff? You thought you could get away with that for a long time or forever? You stupid. So I'm with you, lady. I mean, that would mess me up. I mean, I'm pretty open-minded and stuff like that. But, he's going down a dark path. And as a father, and a husband, there's just certain things that I mean, if you're gonna do that kind of stuff, you don't do it around the house where your wife and kids could see you. That's why a lot of those dudes, they travel for work and they do all that shit in them other cities, and they do it over there where they don't know anybody, there's no witnesses, and then they come home. They're not gonna bring the shit into the house where their wife and kids could find it or see it. So your husband is so into it that he didn't even care to provide y'all with that protection, with that shield. He just wanted, again, a narcissist wants what he wants with no concern for how it impacts other people. Now he want to cry these crocodile tears. So what you need to do is just go to him, ask him to sit his ass down and say, look, did you not think that you might lose your family when you was busy strutting around in G-strings and teddies and shit? That never crossed your mind that might be a problem. And then you going around there with mirrors and putting on your own OnlyFans show in the garage, and you thinking that that's the good idea and that's our marriage is going to stay the same when I find that out. Did you really believe that? So you have to put it back on him. And then he's going to have to admit that he did know all those things were a possibility. So he shouldn't be shocked that they're now a reality. And then you can say, okay, well, I want you to get your shit and get out. I'm going to go see an attorney. Don't you touch any bank accounts because you're going to have a problem. We'll split up the money and everything later. But right now, you go find yourself a place to stay. And you go find yourself a place to stay and do all that shit over there somewhere. I tell you, it's like every week is something weird that comes through this channel. Okay, I just have to go on record and say, what's wrong with these men? What is wrong with men these days? They are like whack jobs, all this weird shit. And it's these, they be these women's husbands. You just look at that lady. Did you not know that your husband had some kind of weird little streak before you got with him? I mean, these things don't just come out of nowhere. It's like there's always a gateway drug, as shall we say. There's a gateway drug. A lot of times it's excessive use of popcorn. And the women don't understand that that's the foundation for a whole bunch of bullshit to come into your life. You got a dude who's addicted to that kind of stuff. The sky is the limit on where his mind is going to go and what dark path he's going to go down as he gets deeper and deeper into the depravity of that kind of stuff. And so you thinking, well, he just looks at, Playboy or whatever, and I'm still going to marry him. I would not recommend that. Yeah, don't type that kind of stuff, HT. We have acronyms in this channel. Shay, can you delete that? Because that's gonna trigger the filters and stuff. We don't put those kind of words in our chats or say them either. Notice how I'm not saying those words. I'm using euphemisms. That's what you do. You don't type that kind of stuff because it gets the channel in trouble. Okay, don't do it. Oh, yeah, I was cracking up too, but I kind of feel sorry for her because um she ain't knowing. She ain't knowing. And she's just thinking, you know, that I don't know, because when she found out the first thing, she didn't really take it too much action. She's gonna have a chat with him. I've been like, get your lingerie and your hush puppies and get the fuck out. That's what you gonna do. You walking around here and let my kids see some shit like that, boy, I will have to slap you to Brazil or something. That would have been the trigger for me just to see that alone. I would have had tossed him out. Okay, question number 6. Whoo, we got 40 questions tonight, so we're gonna be here for a long time. We're gonna be here for a long time. Yeah, I don't know, but and my thing is, see, a lot of times, like women who are in these situations, they want to spend time saying, "Well, why? Deb don't give a shit. Why? All I care about is that you doing some freak shit. I don't want to be bothered with a man who does freak shit that I don't like. I mean, I have my own freak shit things that I might be like, but this ain't it. And so he's doing some stuff that I'm like, no, we ain't doing this. Then you gotta go, son. There's no doubt about. There's no question, no second guessing. Just get your shit and go. That's all. I just can't do it. These men, I don't know. Every time they be saying the stuff, they be looking at them. My father had this friend, and my father was upset at him too. This guy, and he'd been friends with my dad for a long time. Now, I'm about 12, 11 or something like that. He never looked at me crazy or said anything crazy, but something happened. And he was talking about one of his daughter's friends to my dad at our house. My mother was there, my dad was there, and I was, ear hustling. I was in the hallway doing something, but I wasn't like trying to be in their business or anything. I was getting something. I was in there doing something in the hallway. So I heard it. And so he says to my daddy, yeah, her little friends are real cute, this and that, and that. And my father's like, what you doing? Them little girls, leave them alone and do. They're laughing. My dad was kind of laughing, but I could tell he was uncomfortable. It was an uncomfortable laugh. And so, your parents. And my mother didn't say nothing. And so then this clown, just feeling emboldened because he had been drinking that Hennessy with my daddy, says, yeah, if they old enough to bleed, they're old enough to breed. That's what he said to my parents in our house with me right down the hall. My father got up and cussed him out. Like I said, they had been friends for a long time. Cussed him out. My mother cussed him out, and they threw him out and told him that the friendship was over and not to ever show his face around them or their kids again. And that was the end of that. My daddy wasn't playing that shit. My mother, she was a small, calm kind of little person, but I've never seen her turn so red. She was that angry. And so, you got to watch. So the wife, probably never even knew, and the daughter either, that her father was weird like that. So see, that's what I'm saying. You got to pay attention to stuff. And if you see any kind of sign that your man is a risk to your children, your children's friends, your friends, or their kids, then you have to intervene, and you have to get that man up out of there so that he has no contact with these people. But but I love him though. But I love him. You better love them babies. That's what you need to do, because that's your job as a mama. You don't just protect your kids, you protect other people's kids too. Yeah, at 3:00 in the morning in the garage, it had to be cold. But he didn't care. I'm like, wow. Yeah. So, better watch these husbands. These husbands is kind of raggedy. Okay, so let's see what this girl says. This is question number 6, female, 22 to 28 from Portland. Summer issue. I stopped being a people pleaser, but I feel guilt every time I speak my mind. I don't know what that experience is like. I'm 24 and I made new friends in the last few years. I've always been an accommodating person. I used to be very tolerating and patient. After finding your channel, I changed. Now I'm not willing to take any more shit, even little things. I tell people when I don't like their behavior and notice that they don't take it well. I've always been a people pleaser, so it's hard to accept I may hurt their feelings. Will this sense of guilt go away eventually? I don't know. Guess so, but I never had a sense of guilt, so it's hard to say. What do you guys think? Because a lot of women here have expressed that they've had your same experience, that they've changed since they came here. They got, assistance learning how to set boundaries, how to, stand firm in their belief system, how to speak up and advocate for themselves, how to say no. These are things that they learned here. And does it get better and easier for you? They would be more of an authority on that than I would. So please check the chat here on YouTube and see. Yeah, there's one person saying yes, it will as you get older. Okay. Yeah, she's only 22 to 27 age group. So there's your answer. That's from one person. So let's see if other people chime in with a similar opinion, and then you'll know. But my thing is this, what my belief is it doesn't necessarily a sense of guilt go away. What happens is you get used to the feelings of empowerment that you have when you take care of yourself. You feel better that you have carved out your free time and taking it back. You feel better that it's better for them, their feelings to be hurt than yours. when you come to that kind of acceptance, because that's something, like I said, when I first heard about Shakespeare, and I was like adolescent, and reading these thous and thous and all that kind of stuff, that was fascinating to me. The Shakespearean thing. And I experimented. I used to talk to people like that. My parents was like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? But I came up with this phrase, better thee than me, and I still have that belief system. So I don't feel guilt. I feel like if you was trying to do some fuck shit and you was trying to get me in a position where my feelings were gonna be hurt, or I was gonna be abused in some kind of way, or I was gonna be taken advantage of in some kind of way, I'm a U-turn that, take reverse Uno on you, and you're gonna be the one with all of that. It's not gonna be me, and I'm not gonna feel bad about it either if your feelings are hurt, your wallet is dented into, your situation is messed up. It just doesn't matter because you're the one that started it. And when you started, you got to handle what you finish. Yes, there you go. They gave you some really good responses here in the chat. So be sure to check the last letter that about guilt and being a people pleaser. Check their responses here. They gave some good ones. They're about their own experiences. Question number 7. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. No location provided. An issue. My date left unannounced, and I feel like poop. But dude just got up and left. I'm venting, to be honest, and didn't put a location because I am too embarrassed. I have never been so embarrassed in my entire life. I was on a second date with this guy. We went out for dinner and drinks. He was receiving a lot of text messages during our date, but the next thing you know, he's gone. 2 people tried to sit at the bar in the chair at the table, and I told them, oh, wait a minute, this is 2 pages. Someone is sitting here. Next thing you know, it got to the point where one of the people asked, and so where is this person? To which I snapped back with the bathroom. But no, he was in an Uber and said that he had a quote work emergency. I don't know what he does for work exactly, but I am furious. He did pay prior to leaving, but an update or simple buy would have done the trick. This makes me want to draw and crawl into a hole, never seeking companionship again. Deb, do you think I did something wrong? I don't know. Chances are, he was on a date with you, and I mean, he was cool and whatnot, but whoever was texting him was who he really wanted. So he left you to go be with her or him. That's what had happened to did. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you should be okay with this. Because my thing is, if you're a person who thinks that you're great, grand, and wonderful like me, and somebody doesn't appreciate my wonderfulness, I don't want them in my life anyway. So it's like, because it's just like, you're the reflection of myself in your eyes is not going to be one where I'm shining like a bright star. It's going to be one where you looking for somebody else in me. And I don't like that. So I personally, this would be fodder for the show. If something like this, because I would come in here, I could tell you all about my little raggedy dates. He might be married, but it might just be that he's on these dating apps. As they meet people, right? They meet people, and sometimes they fooling with 2 or 3 people at the same time. And the person that he really wanted to spend the time with, this new chick is just a placeholder. He's waiting for this other person, and then that person is available. And so he's gonna go over there. So it could be a wife, but it could not be. We don't know that. So we're not going to say that that's a fact. All we do know is that it's somebody and that he wanted to be with that person more than he wanted to be with her. So there you go. Yeah, she got nexted, but at least he paid for the food. He could have left and just left her with the check too, but he didn't do that. So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Since he already paid for that, I would just sit at the bar and cross my legs and turn around and see who else is in there and proceed to order more alcohol. That's how I roll. Let's move on to question number 8. This is a female in the 22 to 28 age group from Memphis. Summer issue. How can I tell my mom that her comments about my weight are not helpful but hurtful? She already knows that. She don't care. How much did you write? Oh my God. Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to read all this because look at all this shit you wrote about your weight and your stupid mother. Going into history about how you gain weight through middle school. I don't need to know all that. That's irrelevant to the issue now. Okay, let me skip Oh, she gave like this whole history, and then in high school, and then the oldest, and then my first boyfriend. We don't care about that. Okay, so a couple of nights ago, oh, she moved in with her fiance. She's feeling happy. Okay, she made some changes in her life. She took out her next plan on something. I guess that's a birth control thing. She'd been kickboxing 4 times a week, limiting what I eat. I'm eating protein-based meals. Okay. So a couple of nights, my mother called me and started the conversation with, I couldn't sleep because I'm scared about how big you become. Wow. Okay, let's see how you handle this. I wasn't too shocked because she said these types of things before. Wow, really? But I was just feeling down because I felt like I've been making a huge effort to lose weight, and my mother didn't believe me when I tried to tell her that. I was telling her that I took my birth control out, changed my diet, and went kickboxing so much, something, I don't know, whatever. It got to the point where my fiance had to take the phone from me since I was crying so hard and talk to my mother himself. He told her that I've been working hard, that we're keeping each other honest about our workouts. And her saying these types of things to me would be hurtful since it feels like she's shaming me. But then my mother was saying that she's worried about my health and she's scared I'll get diabetes like my grandfather. And I understand that, but lately it's become too much. Then the grandfather calls her talking about don't get diabetes like me. Okay, you just surrounded by idiots. You need to change your phone number. Okay, let me move on to the end of this drama. I understand my mother wants me to healthy, but it's come to the point where I don't know how to tell her that her help is hurtful. I can't lose weight as fast as she wants me to, and I just want her to have me alone, leave me alone about it. I want to explain something to you. Having worked in the healthcare field, no, I was not a doctor, no, I was not a nurse, I was a trainer. And you know what they've been when you're working with somebody 2 or 3 times a week and you see them like this for an hour every time, you develop a relationship with those people and they get close and they tell you things. And I'm gonna tell you this. You can be skinny and have diabetes. It is not limited to fat people. There are 2 types of diabetes. There's type A, they used to call it, uh, children what anyway, it was affiliated with, with children because people pretty much got it, from birth. Um, I can't remember juvenile, it used to be called juvenile diabetes. But, it's type A diabetes. Most people, though, have the type B, which is, closely associated with diet, but it doesn't have to be. A lot of it is hereditary, a lot of it is cultural, and a lot of it just has to do with, you know, your exercise routines and what else you do. So you could exercise, you could eat right, but you could still be diabetic because you just have the genes for it. Now, in this young lady's case, that can be mitigated because of a change in diet. But her mother concentrating on her weight is not the focus. It should be on her blood, her A1C, and her, the daily blood sugar checks if they're that concerned about it. If her A1C comes back with the test you take about every 90 days, and it's within normal range, she needs to take that to her mother and say, I don't want you to tell you shit to me about my weight again. This is my A1C score, rating, whatever they call it, and I'm fine. There's no sign of any diabetes. I'm not even close to it. So you be quiet, and then you're trying to use that as an excuse for you're going to call me and harass me about my weight. If you do that again, I'm going to block you, and I will not be talking to you. You won't be coming to my wedding, and there's be a whole bunch of things you're going to miss out because you can't control your lips. I done told you. So remember this because I'm serious. That's what I would tell my mother. Yeah, I'm telling you. See, it's like people have this thing where they look at somebody who's, big and they automatically think this person is ridden with disease and is going to kill over dead. No, because I saw them little skinny white girls when I was out there working in Livermore. And I'm telling you, they had dieted and skipped meals so much, their bodies were like not even as firm as a marshmallow. They had no muscle tone whatsoever. They had muscle wasting. Their body was cannibalizing itself because they weren't eating food. So their hands were like almost like turning into like an anorexic looking kind of person. Their skin was all fucked up. So they covered it up with makeup. Eating, you got to eat right. You have to eat right. And you don't worry so much about what you weigh you exercise and you eat right and you don't have that problem and you look healthy. And so to turn them around, to get them away from that mindset about looking at the scale. And so then, I do a body fat test and they're like 60, 70% body fat. They're like, what does that mean? It means you don't have no muscle tone. Your body done ate it all for fuel because you're not eating any food. Oh, but I don't want to get fat. You would be better to be fat at this point than what you are right now because you're a skinny fat person. Your body fat level is higher than mine. And I'm sitting up there with all this donk and some thighs and all this stuff, and they just can't even believe that. They're like, but you're not fat, but you're bigger than me. I'm like, right. But my body fat count is way less than yours. Yours is like triple mine because I have muscle and you don't. It was a hard concept to get through their minds. So, and I know this is white culture because y'all be tripping about your stomachs and all this old stuff here and getting liposuction and everything. You look like a hot mess because you don't have no muscles. You don't have no ass. Your legs look like twigs, but you worried about a flat stomach. As long as you have a flat stomach in your culture, that's, good. I ran into that for years. It drove me crazy. And so, it's just a cultural thing. Black people like to have booty. And white people like to have a flat stomach. It's just the weirdest thing. I don't know what that's all about. But I spent a lot of time trying to re-educate my clients because I was the only Black person out there. I didn't have no Black clients. They was all white. And it's like, trying to re-educate them about their body and muscle development and how even though you might weigh more on the scale, your body fat count is less. You're going to wear smaller size clothes because you don't have all that bulk from the fluff of the fat and stuff like that. But you'll be stronger. You'll look better. You'll sleep better. You'll be able to accomplish your tasks. You won't get so tired. I mean, there's nothing to be said that's bad about a woman being strong and having, muscle tone. But there's a whole bunch to be said about if you're going to be doing all these stupid diets and half starving yourself and wasting away your body. You got to not do that. So I want you to, like I said, I want you to go schedule yourself to get blood tests, get your blood work, because you want to make sure now. Then you go and you slap that on your face, your mother's face, and tell her what I told you. And shut her up, shut her down. Shut her ass down, because this is terrible. Question number 9. This is a female, 22 to 27, age group from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Summary of issue. What to do when he says he's not ready to commit, but we're exclusively dating? Isn't that what exclusively dating means? That you having a commitment? I'm confused. I've been seeing this guy for a month. And on the first date, he told me that he's looking for a long-term girlfriend. And we've been dating exclusively, seeing nobody else ever since. And I want to know if he's ready to commit. Okay, you stupid. How old are you? 22 to 27 and you this dumb? I'm planning to confess my feelings and ask if he's on the same page as me. What if he says he's not ready to commit yet? Do I accept it and move on or wait until he's ready? Okay, miss, don't know how to date for shit. When you meet a man and he tells you that he wants a long-term girlfriend, that's about getting the draws. He don't even know your middle name yet, but suddenly he want to paint you as his long-term girlfriend and you bit. You think that that's realistic and that makes sense. That's something that you should, go along with. You're supposed to say, talk to the hand and tell him, no, we're not going to make any kind of, we're not going to even go down that path because I don't know you yet. I don't know if you're somebody that I want to be in a long-term relationship with yet. So don't even say that to me until 3 or 4 months go by. Then we'll talk about it again. And you ain't getting no booty either. Because one thing I'm not going to do is try to jump the gun and just assume because them words came spilling out your lips that you really mean it. I mean, you don't have to say all that to him. I'm just telling you that that's the thoughts that should be going through your head. It's, you just tell him, no, we're not going to do that. And don't talk to me about that kind of stuff until we know each other better. And just, put the brakes on that. Because you've been dealing with him for a month and you already like, are we in a commitment? And I want to know what difference does it make? Because, really, like, if you want to screw him, just screw him. Don't do it with no expectations, though. Like, if you get down and you ain't got no relationship and then you get up and you think you got one, you still don't have one. But if that's, what you want to do and you want to roll that way, you're an adult, do it. But these games here, you should already know this at your age. This should not be, this is something you should have learned when you were 16. And, first on a date, dudes coming with this heavy hitting, I want a commitment. I want a girlfriend. You mine now. Tell all your other men that you got a claim on you now. And that's stuff to blow your head up and just flip you out and make you drop your panties. That's all that is. because a lot of women are dumb, and you think, well, I'm only going to sleep with someone who's my boyfriend. And dudes know that that's what you think. And so they're going to be instant boyfriend coming right up because that's the most direct route to them draws. And y'all who dumb, you just fall for it. You always pace the relationship. You don't ever let a man pace the relationship because they always going to go directly to the mattress. So you made some gross errors in judgment. I suggest you spend some time on this channel learning how to conduct yourself with men. Start with the one that's on the home page, the Queen's Guide to Handling Men Like a Boss. Start with that one. And then you just type in whatever keywords you want to, and then you look at all the videos and take notes. Because you can't be rolling through the world like this. You already in 22 to 27 age group. Okay, you on the downstroke to 30, and you still acting brand new like this. This is not good. That's what I'm saying, but I'd be like, man, because that sounds like some kind of stalker mentality. I would be like, deuces, I can't be around you. You sound crazy. Question number 10. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from the UK. Summary of issue. I discovered that the guy I'm seeing keeps different women's underpants as keepsakes. Is this a drill breaker? What the fuck is wrong with these men these days? Okay, hold on a second. I need a swig. I wish I had some wine or something because these folks, tonight, Lord. Well, the dudes that going to run these games, I can't even be mad at them because, it's our responsibility as women to keep up with the games and know what's up, what's happening, and to protect ourselves. A dude is going to try it. Now, when they try it, you have two options. Either you dump him on the spot because he tried it, or number two, you call him out on trying it and tell him, don't try that shit with me again. I know you just thinking I'm stupid, but I'm not. You do that again, we're done. So either you drop him the first time or you drop him the second time. But, trying to continue a relationship with a man who's trying to run game on you is folly. That will get you in trouble every time. Yes. Let us see. You know what, Button? I'm through with you. Let's see what she's talking about. Okay, I've been seeing this guy for a few months who I really like. Okay, they're not even like in a serious situation, and he's okay. He was moving out of his flat, and I offered to help him clear out his closet and take some of the clothes to Goodwill. One of his winter jackets had a Ziploc baggie with various women's underpants. They were used underpants. Oh, how they was used? I guess no tag, huh? And they were from various women. Women I knew because there were different sizes and styles. I wasn't sure what it was at first, and I asked him if it was all his exes or something. He was very embarrassed and said that he would collect women's underpants previously, and I shouldn't make a big deal out of it. So it's not one, it's several with a bunch of question marks. I got major serial killer vibes from this. He's American. I'm not. Is this a cultural thing that's acceptable in your country? I just can't imagine so. What does that mean? And why would you do something like that? Is this a deal breaker? I'm very freaked out. If it's a deal breaker for you, then leave him alone because you only been seeing him for a couple of months. I mean, I don't know. I would probably laugh. I mean, men keep all kinds of stuff. I used to keep stuff from dudes. It wasn't anything like that, though. And I have a friend who keeps pictures of crotch shots. She takes pictures of, what they working with. And she has like this whole little album with their names and what year she was messing with them and stuff like that. And she said she pulls it out sometimes and she looks at, so people are just weird. I remember when she showed me that, I was looking at her and I was like, what? And she said, yeah, girls, my, we have like a lookbook. She called it her dick pic. And I was like, oh, is that interesting? Because, I personally don't think that part of men's bodies is that attractive that I would want to have a whole album full of them. But I mean, she was looking at it and she was showing me, I was like, it's that kind of thing where you so nosy, you want to see, but then you gross out at the same time. So I was looking, then I turned away, like, eesh. Then I was like, oh, but wait, let me see that one. Oh, then I'm like, so it was an interesting evening. Steady drinking wine. It's just, I've met some weird people in my life. But so to me, it would be funny, and I wouldn't really trip the way that you are. But that's what you have to find a man with your level of crazy that you can tolerate. And I'd be like, well, I mean, because you're not married to him, you're not engaged to him, you only been dealing for a couple of months. Just say, well, man, put that shit someplace where women don't be seeing it. Then you want to be reminiscing and sniffing old drawers and shit. That's kind of disgusting. And so, how many years you plan to keep this? I would, be asking questions like that. It's like, what made you decide to do this? I would turn it to Barbara's Walters because I want to know, inquiring minds want to know why, what's happening here. But you got grossed out. So if that's not going to work for you, because you sound like the innocent type, then, just leave them alone now. I tell you, I wouldn't be tripping personally. That's something I wouldn't. Yeah, because still clever. When you invite people back to your place and you be like, you're gonna have some ramen. That's how they in Korea and in the East. Like you're gonna invite you to have some ramen. You know what that means. It's like Netflix and chill, but with the Asian with the Asian twist to it. Let's go back to my place and have ramen. But go back to my place and look at my book. Oh, I don't know. That's okay. I'm having fun with this part of the column. Some of this is just kind of weird. But this part where she said she gets serial killer vibes. You just doing the most. It's not that bad. It's not that serious. Question number 11. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Ohio. Summer issue. It's crazy how casual nook is expected on a first date. I am 24 and just came back from a date with a girl who's 29. Okay, so she's 5 years older than you. That's kind of weird. We met at a rave party. It was decent. My daughter used to go to those. It was decent. Some awkward silences here and there, but I'm not stressing because it was mainly to get experience from going on dates. As the date started to wind down, I flirted with her a little bit, but then asked for a kiss. We made out for a bit in my car. And then she went straight to asking me, well, what's going to happen next? I asked her what she meant, and she told me that she's been down this road before and wants to know where I want to take it next. I was speechless, so I asked her to explain. She then tells me that most guys she goes on dates with take her out to eat, grab some dessert, make out in the car, and then take her back to their place to bang. I told her I'd treat Nook as an experience where we both enjoy it and would rather wait until a few days in, not on the first date. She respected it and still wants to see me again, but I can tell she was a little bit disappointed that it didn't happen. I felt like I kind of messed up, but I still learning about what I'm comfortable with in dating, so I don't want to rush things. What is going on here, Deb? Should I see her again or not? Yes, you should see her again. And don't necessarily stop trying to think that your ass is a fucking mind reader. You don't have that much dating experience. Her expression and her reaction, you're interpreting as disappointment, is most likely embarrassment because she assumed that you were like those other guys and came out the closet with that kind of stuff, exposed herself as being, a little trollop. And then you came back with the gentlemanly thing. Nah, we're not going there. I don't really know you like that. We're not, how this is my expectation for before we get into that kind of intimate tangle. And so she was most likely embarrassed, not disappointed, like you seem to think. Okay, reframe this and go out with her again. My goodness, what a knucklehead. I hate it when dudes try to act like they know every damn thing. Y'all don't know shit about women. That's why you be all fucked up all the time. Your relationship be all fucked up because you don't know what the hell you doing. You don't know anything. You didn't even ask her. Well, I see your expression change. Can you explain to me what you're feeling right now? You could have asked her that. And then she would have told you, oh, I'm just a little embarrassed, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then you would have went away knowing, having a full scoop instead of trying to act like your ass is psychic. Question number 12. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Arkansas. Summer issue. My family won't stop pushing religion on my 5-year-old daughter. How can I make it stop? You move away from Arkansas. That's what you do. You put your baby in the back of your car and take your stuff and you move to California or some other place, some place where people outside of the South, that's for sure, where people have a more broader scope of the world. That's what you do. She says, I unfortunately live, here we go, live in the Bible Belt and was raised Christian as an adult, like everybody down there. As an adult, I identify as an atheist. My family does not know this, just as I would deflect the best that I can to try and keep their old ass happy enough to leave me alone. The worst is my grandfather. He's almost 80. I had terrible experiences in churches growing up, and I have zero desire to inflict this confusion on my daughter. My family knows about these experiences, yet they try to push your baby into having similar ones. See, no, you good, because I would have cussed them out. My daughter's only been to church a few times in her life, but my family will not stop pushing for her to attend. They are convinced that because she is so intelligent for her age, she's more likely to go to hell if she doesn't accept Jesus as her Lord and Savior soon. You read that, Deb, right, Deb, at 5. They offer to take her, quote, for me, talk to her about Jesus behind my back and give her books, all the while not, quote, living the Christian life as an example. I openly talk to my daughter about different beliefs and religions when she asks, because she always asks after returning from their house. I know she's very young, but I just wanted to grow up to be an open-minded individual, not how I was raised. How could I semi-politely let them know that it's just not going to happen? Just so you know, I have a very small family that my grandfather attempts to dominate. We are fairly low contact as it is, and I state my opinions openly other than the fact that I'm a full-blown atheist. Well, it's time to tell him. He attempts to guilt and manipulate the rest of the family, and I am just now, quote, breaking free. The other part that I don't mention above is that my daughter's stepmother, so that's, okay, the baby daddy's new wife, was pushing Christianity while not being very, quote, Christian in her actions. I cannot control their home, and as much as I wish I could, I can't prevent her from going there every other weekend. Okay, so you can't back up and move because you have a child custody issue going on. Well, you in trouble. All you can do is when okay, the fact that your child is so intelligent, tell them that she is intelligent, and that's why she's not gonna believe that shit that y'all talking. Because to believe that kind of stuff, you have to close your brain off. You can't ask any questions that require logical analysis because nobody in the church can provide that for you. It's all a matter of faith and belief. And when when they start talking about faith, that means their brain is not working. That means you're just supposed to blindly believe because somebody said so. That's what faith means, that you believe is true with absolutely no proof, and tell them that's what you're teaching your daughter not to have, is faith, because you want her to know that she deserves to have answers to all of the questions about anything in this universe that she should have. But ultimately, if she as an adult decides that that's the path that she wants to take, you will fully support her. But one thing you're not going to do is try to jam it down her throat while she is 5 years old. This is her time to learn and explore and figure things out and ask questions, and that her intelligence is what's going to guide her to do, to make smart decisions, that you're not going to dumb it down by having her do groupthink like they do. And so you have to throw in these little lugs, make them feel like, they are less than intelligent because I mean, everybody who leaves the church, when they wake up and they start asking those questions and nobody has an answer, that's one of the things that shocks them, is that nobody has answers and it's all about faith. And that's the only response that they have. You've lost faith, which means you no longer, you asking questions that they don't feel comfortable answering because they have no answer for you. So then they try to, turn around and guilt trip and coerce you into by saying, well, you've lost your faith. No, I just woke the fuck up and now I'm asking questions and y'all don't have no kind of sensible answers. Deuces. And then these people be up after church and women be that, they leave. So it's interesting. And it's always interesting to me to see how many, especially in the Black community, how many women are up in the churches versus the men. The men are like, I'm not believing in that bullshit. That's for y'all. That pill is for y'all to swallow. That ain't about us. That's why your grandfather's so adamant about beating all the women over the head about it. And I'd be telling him, I can't wait till your ass die. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a picture of Satan up on the wall. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put an upside down cross on your grave. That's what I'm going to do. I would fuck him up. You know how I am about old people trying to regulate? I love to tell them this all kind of stuff that's going to destroy their confidence in themselves. But other than that, they should leave people alone because never. Some people are just evil like me. Well, yeah, the 5-year-old girl. I mean, she's too vulnerable, and the fact that they know stuff that happened to the mother, and they want to put her daughter in that same environment. That's one reason why she would never go, and I would bring that up too. The horrible experiences I had in the church, and you trying to make me put my baby in that same situation? Y'all tripping. She ain't going. And I don't understand why you let her go to their house and you ain't there. What kind of bullshit is that? I mean, I can see with the daddy's family, but your family? If she's at their house, you need to be at their house. And then when it's time to leave, you take your baby with you. If you need a babysitter, you find somebody else. Somebody who's you're gonna have to pay them, but at least she won't be. It'll be your daughter's sanity will be part of the package. Yeah, this is sad. I don't know. I would act a complete fool, but let me tell you. Okay, as an aside, I got my side stories. This week, I had to put my oldest brother on block. We got into it, which is we had been getting along pretty good. He even came up here for my daughter's birthday and took her to dinner and all this old stuff last week. But then he goes back to LA, right? And I forgot that's right. He sent me this text that said, Jesus is watching you. Now, my brother's a religious freak. I'm not about that life. But, we tolerate each other. I never say anything to him about my atheism. I don't bring it up. I just, when he brings up some of his stuff, I said, stop now because I don't believe in that shit. Stop talking. And so, it's just like that. But I never tell him that he's wrong, that I never I just, it's about me and what I believe and what my questions that I ask and answers that he never had and why I just don't follow any kind of religion. And so then he is like, well, that was the first thing. I let it slide. I didn't say anything because I'm like, we getting along. I'm gonna let it go. And it was just a text. So then we texted along a little bit more. Then the next thing he sends me this thing about, well, I'm gonna come up and see you at some point, God willing. I'm like, okay, here we go. This is a two. He's trying me because I let the first one slide, which I probably shouldn't have done. But like I said, I get tired of fighting with him about this whole thing. And so I lit his ass up. I said, so see, this is what I'm talking about. You know that this is a boundary for me, and yet you continue to violate it. You don't give a shit about what other people want. You only going to talk about what you want, like a typical narcissist. I read his ass like a book. And then I told him in the closing comments, I said, that's why your girlfriend wants to leave your ass. Because if this is how you treat her, I can see why she want to leave your ass. Oh, that he got mad then. So then he fires back and he gonna try to turn it around to talk. He's want to start talking about me, about some stuff, about my relationship with my daughter. I told him my relationship with my adult daughter is not your goddamn business. Okay, it's not your business. Stay out of it. You worry about your relationship with her. If she's grown. If we don't talk, if she don't want to see me or whatever, that's her red wagon. I'm fine with it. As long as I'm fine with it, you need to be fine with it. Okay, because it's not your concern what we do. It's not your business. Well, this and he wrote back something else and something I forgot. I don't know what else he said, but anyway, I lit him up again. And then I said, I'm because you're getting on my nerves and I don't want this to escalate anymore. We need to time out. So I'm going to put you in a corner and it's using the block feature. So I blocked him. And so he going to stay blocked for at least 2 months because I have some stuff to do. And I don't feel like being distracted with his bullshit. But yeah, that just happened. Like, I don't know, Thursday? Friday. What's that day? Oh no, okay, it must have been Thursday. It just happened. So the church people thing. Yeah, because he accused me. Oh, that's right, because he accused me of what did he say? Jamming my God down his throat. And I said, the only God I have in my life is me. I'm all of the above. And so he did not like that at all, So I was just messing with him at that point. And I admit it. And so then he says that I'm jamming it down. I said, you lie because I've never, not one time, tried to get you to not believe what you believe, yet you steady on me. And that's what that's the thing, that problem I have with these religious nut jobs is they constantly preaching their stuff to everybody to try to convert you. But people who don't believe are very polite about it. Say, well, I just don't believe in it, and let's move on and talk about something else. They're perfectly willing to engage with you on an intellectual level. But if you have people who are religious fanatics, they can't seem to do that. They can't separate a conversation about anything from their religious beliefs. It becomes a real conflict of interest, especially when you're yeah, he was looking to pick a fight. And I told him, I said, this whole thing where you trying to project the turn, you trying to turn it around so to put me on the defense. I know that trick. You must forget who I am. I'm Miss Heartbeat. I know all these little narc games. So you trying to just, it's not going to work on me. Let's talk about you some more. Because that's what this point of this conversation is, you and your behavior and how you don't respect people's boundaries. And this is who you are. You always do this shit. And it's true. He has a history of doing this. And so yeah, that was a that was a big fight of this week. Yeah, that's exactly it. And then, you have to double that down with the fact that he's the oldest. So he already, I mean, it's like a double whammy. He's a religious freak. Plus, he thinks because he's oldest, he has the right to regulate on me and my other brothers, because he's the oldest. And so, we constantly battling just on that alone. But then when you start talking about the religious aspect, he just loses his mind. So I just go like, okay, you got to go in the corner somewhere. So, and leave me the hell alone. Yes, it's unfortunate. Then I found out too. I talked to one of his frat brothers, and he's like, "Yeah, your brother's crazy." I said, "Your frat is crazy." He's like, "Oh, which one?" I told my brother, and he's like, "Well, they have like some kind of chapter chat. They're the Line brothers and stuff. I know all of them because I used to go down to San Jose State when my brother was in school, and I had crushes on several of them. But he was like, "No, you're not messing with these fools." But, so I know all of them, and he said that they've all blocked him so he be posting stuff in there and nobody responds to it because nobody sees it, so he been having a conversation all by himself. I said, "That's cold. Y'all cold." Yeah, I don't know, Jesus is white, but it was blank, so I didn't know if there's a cartoon where a bird is telling a robber Jesus is watching, and Jesus is like a guard dog. So I was like, "Is that what he was trying to send me?" Because I've seen that on TikTok, and the parrot is like, "Jesus is watching," and the guy's like, "Well, Jesus," and he's thinking the bird's talking about, like Jesus. But the dog is named Jesus, and he was warning him that Jesus is watching you try to rob the house. And so, yeah. I don't know if was he sending that, but knowing him, it wasn't that. It was, some religious thing. But it showed up blank. Whatever it was, it didn't download to my phone, so I never saw it. I just saw the words. So let's move on now that I've shared my story of dealing with a religious freak of the week. Question number 13. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Summary of issue. My girlfriend called me selfish for planning to go on a holiday on my own. I'm 27 and I live in the UK. For a long time, I've always wanted to visit Ireland, but I really haven't had the chance. Oh, yeah, I want to go there too. For 2 years, I have been studying for various exams through work, and next year, I finally finished them completely and qualified. I decided that this would be a nice time to treat myself and look at trips to Iceland. I'm sorry. Yeah, he did type Iceland. I thought he said Ireland before. What the hell? Okay, whatever. My girlfriend is 25, but has no interest in traveling, and has mentioned this before when I told her that it's somewhere that I want to go. She has said it's not really somewhere she ever sees herself going. I started looking at prices of trips for next year to get a rough idea of how much it would cost. I mentioned this to my girlfriend, and she asked why I was looking. I told her I was planning to go next year, and while I love it if she came, I understand that she doesn't want to visit Iceland. Okay, that must be where he's going because he said Iceland twice and Ireland only once. And I'm happy to go on my own. She asked if this would affect any trips we might take next year. I said, "We'll be able to go away. It just won't be. It just might be a time or two shorter, a night or two shorter." She said I was being selfish and shouldn't be going away on my own and that we should be looking for a trip to go on together. I pointed out that if we only ever went on a trip together, then I never would actually get to go to Iceland, and that I want to do something nice for myself to celebrate my achievements. She just said I was being selfish and that her trips shouldn't have to be shorter because I decide to take a trip of my own. I pointed out that she's more than welcome to go away on her own or with her friends. family, etc., and that it's only a one-off anyway. She just repeated that I'm wrong for doing it and that I shouldn't be going. How would you suggest I handle this? Stop talking, move in silence, and then the day before or the morning that you get ready to go, go and already put your stuff, like while she's at work, go and put your stuff in the air locker at the airport. Okay. Like, a couple of days before. And then the day, it's going to look like you going to work, but you actually not going to work. You going to the airport, and you're going to take your passport and you're going to take everything that you need. And you're going to say, okay, I'll see you later. You not knowing when later is. And you take your happy ass to the airport, you get on the plane and go to Iceland. That's what you're going to do. And then when you're going to get to Iceland, you're going to text her. You're going to send her a picture of you in Iceland. And hopefully it'll be a sign that says, welcome to Iceland at the airport. I'd say, yo, I've arrived. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to stop talking. You run your mouth too damn much. Once she told you, she started asking questions, you were supposed to stop talking about the trip. But some people just have big mouths and just can't shut up. So you just going to cause all this conflict. And then you had to just throw in there what might be a day or two shorter. She had no idea how long the trip was going to be in the first place because y'all ain't planned the trip yet and made any reservations or anything. So saying that, you putting some fuel in her fire. All you had to do was say, no, we're still going to go on our trips. But the only person who would know that was going to be a day or two shorter would be you. Dude, you talk too much. You talk too much. You tell too much. You just stoke the flames of her fire. Please, okay, grow up and learn to shut up. So you don't have to say everything, especially when you got a nutty girlfriend like what you got. You just, you give her surface shit. You don't lie to her, but you just give her the surface of the story, because once you start giving her minutia and details, then she flips that the fuck out. And then this is what you end up with. You could avoid all of this by keeping your mouth closed. These men don't have no game at all. Well, she says she can't see herself going to Iceland. I don't see you saying Ireland first, maybe I guess was a typo. Iceland, I probably couldn't see myself going there too because it sounds cold. But if that's a place that you want to go, you're a single man, and I would remind her of that. Well, it's like, what you trying to regulate on my money and stuff. We're not married. So what I do with my money and my time is my business. So you need to shut up. Okay. Now we're going on a vacation. If I decide to pay for you to go, then you should be happy. Whatever I give you, you should be happy with it because it's going to be coming out of my money. So you tripping right now. You need to rethink your position because you don't really have one. You a mere girlfriend. That ain't shit in the real world. It's not going to get you nothing but a cup of tea, if that. And shut her shit down. And now you probably don't want to be like that because you seem to like this little girl and you want to be all respectful and all that stuff. But see, when you got somebody who's trying to ramp up and bitch up on you like this, you better start opening your mouth. And you got to, squelch that and put her in check. Don't let her start thinking she got some privileges and rights that she don't have as the girlfriend. Question number 14. I swear these girls, ooh. I just want to jump in these dudes' bodies for like 5 minutes and get these girls straight real quick. She's 22 to 27 in St. Louis. Summer of issue. He asked me for money after just 2 weeks of talking. Wow. He didn't even waste. Dude is a savage. He didn't waste no time. Yeah, it probably was, Button. Divine, you right. Because that would have sent, if I seen it, it would have sent me to left field. That's the brother who I told you about when I was breaking up with this dude and I went to his house for Thanksgiving. He had invited the dude I was leaving, had already left, to the thing for Thanksgiving because he liked the dude and he wanted us to get back together. As soon as I walked in and I saw a dude there, I made a U-turn and got right back in my car and left. So I didn't even get Thanksgiving dinner that year. I ate like a fast food or something. My mother and father were there and everything. It was like this whole family thing. And I had to miss it because he chose to do that was what he wanted. So see, like I said, he has a history of doing this kind of stuff to me. And so I just, he doesn't see anything wrong with it. Though. Well, I just wanted you guys to talk and get back together. Fuck that motherfucker. Fuck you too. That's what I gave him. And then I didn't talk to him for like a year because I felt violated. I felt betrayed. Like, your loyalty's supposed to be with me, not him. I mean, what is this? And so, yeah, we had a problem. So to me, this is just more of the same kind of stuff. He's got that attitude. So I'm gonna leave his ass on timeout for a couple of months. That's what's gonna happen here. So let's hear about dude asking for some Skrilla. So I recently moved back to my hometown near St. Louis, and I've been talking to this guy for about 2 weeks. We met up a few times. We haven't gone on an actual date because I just got a huge promotion and my schedule has been quite hectic. We both recently got out of relationships, and I expressed that I just want to get to know him, but he's been moving at his own pace, calling me pet names and his girlfriend. Yeah, because you got a promotion means you got some money. We're both 24 and I have a good stable job, but you just got a promotion, so you're gonna have to make some kind of probation. So you ain't that stable chick. Don't put the cart before the horse, which I understand don't come too easily from where I'm from. He's still studying and had a part-time job that he lost just last week. He's been trying to fix his car, but the repairs are very expensive from what I'm gathering. So he asked if I could lend him $80. I was a bit taken aback, but I just told him that I unfortunately don't have it. We moved on and still met up, and it wasn't awkward. He even told me he thinks he's in love with me. These dudes their game is not good, don't get me wrong, but they're good at finding women who believe it. Let me put it that way. He's in love. Okay, I didn't feel inclined to say it back because I'm not there yet. Now he asked again and said he really hates doing this, but can I at least lend him $30? I don't have much dating experience, and this is the first time I'm actively trying to date, and I'm in my 20s. I heard a guy ask me for money in the early stages is a red flag, but given the circumstances, is this still a red flag? Should I be worried and question his intentions, or does he genuinely fall quickly? And since he's treating us like we're in a relationship, this is basically what couples do. Should I be alarmed given the circumstances? First of all, you've been talking to him for 2 weeks and he lost his job allegedly last week. What proof do you have of that? If he did, doesn't he get unemployment? Can he go work at a fast food place? They're all looking for people. They're desperate for folks. Right? Okay. And so then you say, so it's going to cost him $80 to fix his car. Why would he only need $80? I'd never get a car. I mean, shit, it costs more than that for my damn tune-ups and stuff. Oil change and tune-up. It costs more than that. Of course, I'm in California, but still. $80, that ain't gonna do shit. And then he gonna cut it down to $30. What's that gonna do? If he needed 80 now instead of 30, but he get 50 from somebody else? And you're not even really dealing with him like that, even though he's dealing them kind of words and stuff. Did you agree to be his girlfriend? Did you agree to be in a commitment with him? Or is this just words he's using to try to snow you into believing that you got more with him than what you think you got? That's where my mind is. Now, the fact that you don't have much dating experience, and you probably mentioned that to him, would be making you be set up with a target on your forehead. I would suggest you do this. You want to tell him, look, I just met you. Don't ask me for shit. I'm not going to ask you either. The time that you spend up in my face, you probably need to be spending that time looking for a new job. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to deuce out on this situation to give you that space and grace. And, check me out when you got viable employment, and then we'll talk again. But right now, a man asking me for money, like you some kind of pimp or shit, that ain't doing nothing for me. It's a major turnoff. And so I'm going to deuce out, and I'll let you in another lifetime. That's what I suggest you do. Because this is a big red flag. He thinks you're stupid and desperate and ignorant and don't know nothing. But he doesn't know you have me in your ear, so you're not going to do it. Yeah, I thought it was trifling too, Button. And so, yeah, actually, when I think about it, when I opened that door and I flashed back to that moment, I was shocked first because I was not expecting to see that. Then I was very deeply hurt because what you said, I felt like he chose him over me. And I'm your little sister, and this is the best you can do. And he would this is how you're going to treat me on a holiday when I'm finally going to get to be in a peaceful environment with my family, the people, my support system that I desperately needed at that moment. You know how it is when you first break up and you're young. It's you got to work through it, and I needed to spend some time, especially with my daddy, because he was my major support team. But I didn't even get to see him that day. I had to get in my car and go away and be by myself the whole holiday. That was the saddest Thanksgiving I've ever spent. And it was because of my brother. He might be done, but then he might just be a test. See, again, we don't want to jump to conclusions and say what stuff is like it's a fact because we don't know that. It could just be a test. He could be getting $30 that he gonna give to some other woman to get her nails done, right? We don't know what the $30 or $80 was for. But we do know he's trying to get money from her, and that's a test. It's to set a precedent. Because once she gave him 30, then the next question is going to be 100, and then it's going to be 500. That's how they do it. They start little, and then they see how amenable you are to giving them stuff, and the fact that you would give them stuff anyway, and then they up the ante. It's always some crisis and emergency. My mama's lights getting ready to get cut off. I met a dude. Met him that afternoon, and he called me that night talking about his grandmother. I told you I had a story because his grandmother needed some medicine and he needed $50. And I was like, well, how old is she? Well, she's 80 something. I said, shit, just tell her ass to go to the light. She old anyway. He did not, he didn't, that's when I was young and I was real stupid. I'm already stupid now, but that was when I was really stupid. And I just tell that old bitch to go to the light. Click. So yeah, I don't know. I can't play these games with these men. And I suggest that you not either. Question number 14. Oh, we got 40 of these. I'm gonna be here all day. I'm sorry, wait. Question for male 22 to 27 from Los Angeles. Summary of issue. Childless women. Do you judge a guy if he says that he would never date a single mom? I wouldn't date a single mom, and I don't even want kids of my own. And I would not want to deal with somebody else's kids. But it feels like people assume that I think single women are beneath me when I say this, which isn't at all true. But the quiet and free lifestyle that I want with a partner is almost impossible if they have a kid. Some childless women have ghosted me because of this. Well, then let them ghost you. What's the problem? Yeah, child, I was like, she old anyway. She outlived her time. It's bright. Follow the bright light. But I'm gonna just say this. You're worried about what other people think. You need to worry about yourself. People. It's gonna be some women. They're gonna feel some kind of way about it because it means that they have to feel rejected by you. They're gonna feel like, well, he doesn't like me because of my kids. When that really what you express here is it's not that you don't like them because of their kids. You don't like the fact that the dream that you have of being able to jump up in the middle of the night and go out to eat or jump on a plane without having to worry about a babysitter and who's going to watch your kids and pick them up from school if you a plan change or something. You don't want that lifestyle. And so it's perfectly understandable because you're a young man and you have every right to choose that lifestyle because being a parent is more than a notion. If whether you're a step parent or a real parent, you birth parent, it's still a lot of work. So I appreciate the fact that you already at your young age know what you want to do and how you want to live your life. And if other people don't agree with you, then fuck them. Yeah, don't worry about it. If the women dump you and stuff because of it, then it's okay. It's all right. Don't feel bad. Don't feel no kind of way about it. Question number 15. This is a female in the 35 to 42 age group from Falls Church. Summary of issue. I recently broke up with my boyfriend for general neglect, and now he's trying to fix all the issues to get me back. Why does he care so much now when he couldn't really be bothered before? I've lived with this boyfriend who's 39 for 3 years. We have a shared friend group and have combined our lives to a great extent. He is a sweet person and well loved in the community. Unfortunately, he is also quite neglectful and unwilling to see his part in any issue or argument. He has been financially irresponsible, leaning on me to cover him time and time again with almost no communication about his situation or needs until the last moment. Last summer, he failed to mail our June rent check. Had lied about it twice, and I ended up having to pay June and July out of my pocket, along with the car payment until he managed to get his money together and pay me back. We go through all kinds of hard issues, but the line, I just haven't recovered from that. He refused to take me on dates, saying he is, quote, not a planner, but yet he can plan trips with his friends, plan to run races in different cities, plans nights out with his boys. He almost never cooks for me without me having to basically beg him, though he would share cooking a meal with him. All the tasks were either done together or by me, but he rarely would take the initiative to get something done on his own unless I nagged, which I hate doing. He also stopped sleeping in the bed with me, claiming that it hurt his back. He spent the last year on the couch, despite me offering multiple times to get a new mattress and inviting him into that process. I've cooked for him, I've taken him on dates, I've cleaned the house, gone grocery shopping, etc. alone for many times. He brings nothing to the table financially to warrant me doing this much labor. Like, this is not paying my bills. Well, then what you doing it for? Now that I've moved out, he wants to be more supportive and do better. He is trying to be sweet, supportive, caring, etc. All the things I had been asking for. Unfortunately, he waited until it was so dire, and and I was so exhausted I can't imagine going back. I'm wondering if you ladies listening, or you, Deb, have ever had a partner make big changes and were able to come back from that, or is this just a fantasy? I mean, for real, why does he want to try now? Does he really think that this is just some high level bullshit? I'm gonna say this, and this is my thing that I always say. He showed you who he was when you was living with him for them 3 years. Why do you think that just because you moved out a few months ago that he's magically morphed and, beak into somebody else? Why would you believe that? Why did you not block him when you moved out and so you could move on? Why is he still able to even contact you to whine about the changes he makes and try to get back together? Block that motherfucker. All he's trying to do is use you. He doesn't love you. He loves what you do for him. You finally wised up. I mean, it took you 3 years to get a fucking clue. I just don't even understand why it took you so long. But you finally wised up and moved on and moved out and moved on. Stay where you are, block him from your phone, and act like you never knew him. Okay? That would be the best thing that you could do. Yeah, he ain't gonna change. They always come up with that I'm changing thing. No, you not, clown. I know that trick. They put on the act for a couple of weeks in order to get you back in the trick bag that you were in, and then they flip out and be just who they really are originally anyway, which is stupid. So don't worry about it. You ain't missing nothing. You put all this energy into trying to figure out if he's gonna be the man that you need, and the answer to that question is no, because not in him. If he were that person, you would have seen it already. We've seen evidence of it years ago. Okay. Believe what you see, not what he's saying on the phone. Question number 16, female, 22 to 27 from Hayward, California. Summary of issue. My friends have been calling me, quote, masculine and talking about my body negatively. What do I do? Why do you call them your friends? That's the interesting part. I recently posted pics of myself flexing and working out and weightlifting on my private stories with just my closest friends on it. And some of my female friends, we're all 22 to 23 years old, have recently been commenting on my story saying I look like a man or commenting on my body. I try to take it on the chin, but it's been getting to me. I like being feminine, but I like lifting weights, and my physique isn't that muscular to me. One of my girlfriends said that I should not get upset or be overly sensitive because she was only looking out for me. She was putting the blame on me like she usually does when we have a disagreement. Should I stop talking to these girls, or should I call them out? I don't want to come across as sensitive. Really, what should I do? Thank you for choosing my letter. What you should do is realize that these are not your friends. Okay. So block them all on your Instagram. And then, to me, it's like, I know you young people, you selfie everything and you put up all the stuff about, your whole life is online. But the only person that really needs to see your pictures and, chronicle your journey to whatever your destination is you. So you're putting it there because you want them to see it. So once you do that, you invite people's opinions. Okay, so their opinion just happened to be one that you don't like, but you did that to yourself. So what you have to do is realize that once you start putting stuff, asking people for comments, sometimes the comments is not going to be really what you want to hear. We have that problem on this channel, but you know what? I'm real good with the delete button and the block button because they get one time. You get one time to call me or any other posters some bad name or some allude to anything that I don't like, and they are instantly blocked from this channel. It's called ban. It's called ban from the channel. And I'm like, whatever. We're not gonna have that here. I'm gonna do that. So yes, you should stop talking to these girls because they're jealous. They're jealous. And what I want you to do is make sure when it's summertime and you've got your legs all tight and toned, take a picture of yourself in some hot pants and your back and you flexing in the mirror with your back, looking all firm and toned. And I want you to send it to all them bitches and say, how you like me now? That's what you do. Yeah, they just jealous. So I'm sitting up there looking like a Oompa Loompa and mad because you got some cuts now. See, my friends were, up until recently, all my friends were, in fitness and train, they were trainers into fitness and stuff. So we all, had similar goals and similar outlooks about stuff. So it was never that kind of problem. It was like, girl, you've been working too much on your back. You need to work on your chest more and stuff like that. It was more coaching. It wasn't any kind of criticism. So what you're getting though is straight criticism. So, they're trying to act like these brothers do, saying that you're looking manly and all this kind of stuff. It's like, no, you look like a squid. So you're sitting up there with shapeless and shit from sitting too much on the couch and playing video games all damn day. Your booty's flat. You got a gut. Your shoulders is rounded. You got that forward head posture, triple chins. You look a hot mess, son. And, you don't have no guns. I mean, what is going on with these men's bodies? They look like puff and snuff or something. And so it's not cute. So, then these are always the ones talking about women looking masculine. Well, it's because you look like a girl. Girl, because I saw a squid and I was like, ooh, that is how these dudes be looking all whitish and blubberyish. I mean, you know what I mean? Just like, ew, just shapeless. So I don't know. I wouldn't really be paying too much attention to them. That's what I'm telling you. You need to understand. Reframe this. What you got dealing with is some jealous bitches. That's what you're doing. So block them, but make sure, like I said, you work on your legs and your glutes. And make sure you take that picture with you a little tight, like white shorts. Those always look the best. White shorts, hot pants shorts, and take a picture of them. You know how you rise up on your toes like a bodybuilder so your calves flex? Do all that. Just be extra. And then send them that picture and say, how you likes me now. Yes. Question number 17. Female 28 to 34. The male's 22 to 27. Oh, because she older. Summer issue. My boyfriend keeps digging and pulling at my private areas. How can this be stopped or fixed? By getting a new man. Why is this even a question? My boyfriend's 26 and I'm 32. Well, that's the first problem. The problem we're having is that he keeps digging at my chest, my butt, and my other front parts at moments when I am occupied with cleaning the kitchen or focusing on my own tasks like doing my skincare routine, etc. It's truly the worst experience out of anything that he's ever done. I cannot relax at all around him because I'm worried that he's going to do this. Have you ever tried doing it back to him? Reverse is when he starts doing it, you grab him and flip him around so that his back is to you and just go to town. So he can see how it feels. And then make sure next time you do it when he's around his friends, his mother. Start digging at his crotch and digging at his butt and just rubbing on his chest and stuff and see how he likes it. I believe in matching men's energy. You don't sound like you that type though, because you write me instead of handling the situation. When I say no, please stop and let me finish my task. I'm in my zone. He keeps going, or he keeps going, even though you told him to stop. See, no. And says, fine, I won't touch you anymore. It has rewired me and it's destroying my once high nook drive. I even got a bit nauseated at the thought of doing certain things I used to love and enjoy. In the beginning, he and I, everything was kind and soft and gentle, and there was no urgency or aggression. But now when I ask for that, I am called stupid or confusing. Wow. I ask for gentle gestures like a small back rub or a gentle nuzzle with him when I'm at the sink cleaning or a foot rub. When he decided to do the foot rub one day, it was so painful and nauseating, I knew I'd never ask for that again. The same thing happened with the back rub. I don't want my chest constantly pulled and grabbed. They are sometimes tender from him. I don't want my privates poked and tugged at all. I think it's gross to do this after the gym with unwashed hands. What makes someone change like that? Can this be fixed? It's deeply disturbing and feels like my body is no longer my own, but up for grabs. What could he fix in himself? You stupid as hell. You older than him, but you got the mind of a 10-year-old girl. This boy don't care about you. You are just like his fetish thing. Get rid of this fool. You should have done that the first time and you told him to stop and he didn't do it. See, to me, that's all it takes. If I tell you how you're going to treat me and touch me and you're going to treat my property or anything else, if I give you a directive about what I want, and it's my shit, it's my body, it's my house, it's my whatever, and you do something else, the second that you do that after I already told you this shit is over, get your shit, get the fuck out. Because that means you don't care what I do, what I need, and what I want. That's what my own brother's on the timeout. So you know, with some man, what would I do? I don't understand why you are tolerating this. And you repeatedly tell him to stop and that you don't want to and to leave you alone and don't touch you like that. And he keeps doing it anyway, and you still with him. And his behavior has escalated. Now he's calling you names because you don't want him to do what he wants to do with your body. I don't understand you. And you older than him. I would clock that motherfucker upside the head with something. Say, I said, stop it, motherfucker. But you don't understand English now? You need sign language? What the hell is going on here? Yeah. But anyway, get rid of this fool before you end up in jail. Okay? Because this is not a good situation. He's gonna piss you off one day, you're gonna hurt his ass. And it won't be, it's not like he don't deserve it, but we probably don't want you in prison. Question number 18. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group out of London. The male's 28 to 34. Wait a minute. 18 to 21 and 28 to 34. My boyfriend had a massive freak out about me getting my braces off, and I feel weird. I am 19 and have been with my 28-year-old boyfriend. Okay, well, that's the first problem. For a year now, and he's amazing. However, man, my daughter could not be dealing with no almost 30-year-old man if she was not even 20 yet. That would not happen. However, we recently had a disagreement, which is making me question our relationship. The whole time I have been with him, I've had braces, and he's often said that they're cute, which was comforting because I'm insecure about them. However, recently I told him that it was almost time for me to get them taken off, and he was acting weird. He asked me to keep them on longer. I told him there's no reason for me to keep the braces on longer than I need to, but he was adamant that I should keep them because they suit me. I felt weirded out by his insistence. It seems borderline creepy for him to want me to keep them, especially as I'm an adult and can't wait to get them off so I look more mature. Advice? Should I consider this a red flag or not? Oh, hell yeah. It was a red flag when he came after you and you was only 19 and he's 28. That was the first red flag. The second is he likes the look that you have of being a kid with braces. Once you take them off, you're just going to be a young woman, just regular. And he ruins his pedo fantasy. That's what you got. You young and I think you trying to understand. That's why you wrote in. Like I think you getting you smelling the bullshit and thinking, oh shit, wait a minute, this don't sound right. And I know something's wrong, but you need it spelled out for you. So I'm telling you, pedo vibes for real. Okay? He only likes you because you're young and you with the braces, you looked even younger, which probably had you looking like you were 14, 13 or something. And that's exciting to him. Get rid of this man, take your braces off, and move on to somebody who's closer to your age and who, has better sense. He done told you what time it is right now, so you better pay attention. He's not a hater. He's a pedo. Who has braces? Kids. Come on now. Anna, you know the deal here. Kids have braces. Adults, if they decide to get them, they get the Invisalign with the thing in the back. And it's clear. It matches the color of your teeth. But most kids that the parents can't afford, especially got a couple of kids and mortgages and shit to pay, cars to pay, but they get the old-fashioned metal grills ones with the retainer. Yeah, this dude, mm-mm. But she gets it. I mean, you know what I mean? She's swift enough to pick up on it, but she doesn't know what she's picking up on. Let me put it that way. But she at least has a clue. So there's hope for her. Question number 19. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Swansea in the UK. The male is also 28 to 34. Summary of issue. Did I waste my time with this guy? I am 28 and I met my partner 3 years ago. He's 32. I have an 8-year-old daughter from my previous relationship who he loves so much. He asked us to move in almost a year and a half into our relationship, and we did. He is a great father figure and partner. But I got pregnant 3 months ago. It was a shock to both of us and miscarried. This event also left us in a shock because we mourned in our own ways. A month ago, he randomly came out and told me that he didn't want to ever get married. I never saw that coming at all. I figured he had a plan that we would move in and step by step, we would eventually get there. But you never asked him? You just assumed this from the dark recesses of your hopeful mind. Okay. Before I got pregnant, he would bring up things like when we get married, blah, blah, blah. I never pressed the issue or brought it up because it's not my style. Since these events, though, I've been trying to figure out what changed his mind versus the words and actions before. He calls my daughter his in front of everyone we know, and to his friends, I am called his wife. Why would a man move us in and then poof, be just like this? I am wasting my time, and did I make a bad decision for us? Why did it feel like I was led on? Well, see, this is the kind of thing you as a woman are supposed to clarify before you pack the first bag. If you didn't do that, you didn't handle yourself well. Just because some man just randomly, is walking around fantasizing about marriage and he speaks those words, did he propose? Did he give you a ring? Did he show you any kind of documents where he's putting aside the same money for a wedding? What did he do that made you believe that he was going to actually marry you or even wanted to? For you to have a kid, you kind of dumb. This is painful for me to see mothers be this stupid. Okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to sit down with him and say, I made a mistake, because you have to own this shit, because you the one that jump to these conclusions. I made a mistake thinking that you moved us in here because the goal was marriage. Now that I'm hearing that it's not, I need to know what changed, because you always mentioned this before. I admit it wasn't with really concrete plans, but it did seem like it was on your mind. I want to know, I want to understand what happened. Is this because of the miscarriage? Are you afraid that this would happen again if we were married, and that you would be disappointed and heartbroken again, and you want to avoid that feeling? Is that what's happening? Or is it something else? Because I think that's what it is. But you're going to give them the opportunity to make up some lie. And then you say, okay, well, what we'll do is I'll start looking for a place for my daughter and I to move to. Give us about 3 months, because it's gonna be. I have to find a place that has a good school for her, and that's safe for us to be there by ourselves. So give me about 3 months, okay, and then we'll be out of your hair. If I can find something sooner, we'll be out sooner. But at least let's plan for 3 months, and then he'll say okay, and then you'll start looking. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, she just assumed. She assumed. I don't know if he's so sketchy. I think it's because of he doesn't know how to process his emotions about, losing the baby. So she has her baby, but he's like, well, where's mine? And he knows if they get married that, the goal is going to be to have more children. And he's thinking that, if I don't get married, then I don't have to worry about having more children. Men are stupid. Like, no baby's ever born out of wedlock. But I'm just telling you, I think it's that. This is just his way of trying to protect himself emotionally. But, it could be something else. Like, this is a mere conjecture. But the timing is rather suspicious. Don't you think? The timing is rather suspicious. So let's move on to question number 20. Oh, we're finally at the halfway mark. Female, 48 to 54. I'm going to take a break after this. Summary of issue. I canceled my April wedding to my partner 1 month before the event. Did I make a mistake? Most likely not. You 48 to 54? Most women are done making mistakes like that at this age. So let's see what's happening here. We are both in our 50s. We began dating in August of 2021, and everything seemed fine. However, in March of 2023, I discovered several lies that he had been hiding, ultimately revealing a popcorn addiction. Despite this, we pursued couples counseling. See, you good. I don't believe in counseling for single people. Couples counseling and became engaged in June of 2023. He attended meetings for a few months, reassuring me that everything was under control. Despite my regular inquiries about how I could support him, he often brushed off my concerns, insisting that he loved me. However, his actions contradicted his words. I found myself initiating physical intimacy constantly and even encountered situations where he fell asleep during intimate moments. He was that bored, huh? Additionally, his phone always seemed to take precedence over our relationship. The beginning of 2024 brought new challenges with my intuition, suggesting that something was amiss, though I couldn't quite pinpoint it. Then on March 2024, I requested to see his phone. Oh, she put the date, March 6th. To see his phone and discovered some content he had been concealing for months. Even when faced with undeniable evidence, he continued to deny it. It was then that I realized I no longer trusted him and couldn't commit to a lifetime of deceit, popcorn, and intimacy issues. Lately, I've been questioning whether I made the right decision. Could I have been more understanding about his addiction? What could I have done to help him? Nothing. This is a grown-ass man. What's wrong with you? You can't help nobody he's almost 60 years old. He is what he is, a fucked up old man. So for the fact that you didn't want to marry him and put your asses in your Social Security, retirement, whatever, at risk of him running through it with some crazy nonsense is smart. You don't marry a man that you already know has problems with intimacy and self-control. That would be the dumbest shit that you could ever do. A lot of young women do that because they think that once you say I do, it's going to be magically, different. But, you saw what time it was and you you deuced out, which was a smart thing. So stop trying to second guess yourself. You think, or just imagine your life with him if he was like that or it got worse. That's what you would be facing instead of you romanticizing. Oh, did I make a mistake? No, you should be counting your blessings. You got the fuck up out of there. Question number 21. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group, female 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My girlfriend physically won't let me leave when I'm trying to break up with her and throws a tantrum. Okay, how is she not letting you leave? You're supposed to call the cops and tell them that you're being held prisoner against your will, and this woman won't let you leave, and you don't want to hurt her by pushing you off her, so they come and assist you. That's all you had to do. Go into the bathroom, close the door, and make that call, and come out and wait. But see, you didn't do that. So when I see people who don't do things that are like real obvious and great options, and then they want to write and whine, I make a decision that you like the wine and you just want drama, and that's why you didn't take action. Because that's all you had to do. It's like, okay, well, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me go in here and pee right quick. I'll be right back, or poop, or whatever you're gonna say, lie you're gonna tell, and go in there and pour some water in the toilet, make it sound like you're doing it, but then really, as you calling the police and telling them what's going on, and say, give them the address. Say, I need some help to get up out of here. She's standing in front of the door, and I don't want to touch her. I don't want to hurt her, but I want to get out of here. I don't want to leave. She's holding me hostage. They would be right there. Okay, so let's see what you didn't do. My dad has terminal cancer, and my girlfriend has been accusing me of being distant and not as affectionate lately. Because of this, which has been constant, I figured I cannot be the partner she needs me to be right now. I explained this to her, and she eventually led to me saying, okay, well, this isn't working and I need to leave. And I tried to take my stuff from her apartment and leave. She physically would not let me leave, and she kept standing in front of me saying, no, I don't, you can't leave. You can't. She then proceeded to have a tantrum, repeating for about 10 minutes straight about how she wanted me to go on a day trip that she planned next week, and kept crying and asked if I'd take her there and how I promised that I'd take her there. And she kept asking if I'd take her there. Wow. She sounds mental. She wouldn't stop, and I eventually said, "Yes, I'll take you there. This is so wild to me, and I feel foolish and cruel and embarrassed about the whole thing." And she's like, "We can work through this." But she has repeatedly said that I'm being distant or not loving enough. And I've explained to her many times over the few months that what's happening with my dad is stressful and I'm not doing well. See, but what you haven't done is cussed her out. You haven't cussed her out. Now, let me tell you how that would have went down if this was me. Okay, this is just me. I'm not saying you had to do this. I'm just going to tell you how I would have handled this. Okay, so if I'm you, okay, and my dad is terminal. I know that the clock is ticking, it's coming to the end of the line. Bus is coming to the end of the line, and I want to spend more time with him. And she's standing in front of me and not letting me leave. Like I said, I would call the police first. And then when the police came to escort me out, I would be like, "I'm never coming back here and I'm not taking you nowhere because I told you my dad is dying, you stupid bitch. And that's more important to me than going on a fucking day trip with you. Take your own ass on a day trip. I'm going to go see my father. I'm going to be there when he takes his last breath. I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about. I'm out." Boop. And then leave with the police escorts and never see her stupid ass again. That's how that would have went down. But you definitely want to cover yourself to make sure you do not put your hands on her, and that there's witnesses that you did not put your hands on her. Because she's that kind of sound like, she's so hysterical and dramatic that she would say that you did something to her so that she could keep you still from your father because you would be in jail. That's her, this her whole thing. She wants all your attention for herself. And this is the kind of woman, when you see that she has no empathy, she don't care about your relationship with your daddy, she don't care about your emotional state. Everything's about her and her day trip. That's when you cut the person loose. So anytime that you get a chance when she's not around and you can leave, make sure that you go. Okay. And ideally, like I said, it would be with police protection, because now you have a case of her, trying to hold you prisoner in the house. It's a record of it in case you need that later for a restraining order. You got to put these little ducks in a row. Question number 22. This is a male, and he's in the 43 to 54 age group in Germany. The female's 35 to 42. Oh, I haven't had a letter from there in a long time. I'm usually from some servicemen. Some issue. My date wants kids and I don't. Now she proposes to have her kid with a gay friend. Wait a minute. Wait, what? I am currently seeing a 36-year-old woman. I'm 44. We're both in Germany, although she comes from an Eastern European country. We are 7 days in, 7 dates in, 7 dates. 7, not 77, 7. Going out, having deep talks, and great nook, all good. On the second date, I asked if she wanted to have children and she said yes. I said I do not want any and I cannot have them biologically. The topic came up again yesterday, but with a twist. According to her, she understands that I wanted kids, but could not have them instantly. She reassured me that she still wants to have them and suggested a proposal. She discussed with her involved friend already. She has a gay friend who wants to have children too, and they plan to have a kid together. They would raise it independently, but with them both as parents. My date still wants to have a relationship with me and asked if the setting would be okay for me. I would be a boyfriend of a woman who has a child with her gay best friend, and she received a child whilst being and conceived, rather, as he said, received, I think he means conceived. The child whilst being in a relationship with me. I'm still digesting her idea and want to ask for opinions and perspectives from your crew of women as well as yourself. Thanks. I would say run. Run. And then, because this sounds like a hot mess. You only 7 dates in, you don't even really know this chick. What kind of crazy concocted idea is this? Have you be the father, but she done got a baby by some gay friend of hers, and they gonna raise a baby together. Well, what you there for? It won't be your kid, and she won't be your wife. And so what in the world would you be doing there? You need to ask her that. What role would you be playing other than some onlooker at their relationship and their child? Tell her, no, I'm good. I don't want to be doing anything. Yeah, I don't know the laws. I don't know nothing about it, how that works in Germany. Not gonna try to know. Don't really need to know. I just need he needs, but he don't need to know either. All he needs to know is that this is a situation that it's an A and B situation. They friends, and it would be their baby. He don't have nothing to do with it. So why would he be there? Just so he can screw her? No, he can find somebody else to screw who don't have crazy gay friends and baby dreams that they try to push down somebody's throat. That's what he could do. 7 dates. All of this over 7 dates. Can you imagine? I don't even know what to say. I haven't said that today. This is the first time. I'm proud of myself. I'm okay. Question 23 is a male 35 to 42. Summary of issue. What should my reaction be to my girlfriend's wish that I die? Wait a minute. You have a girlfriend and she wants you to die? And you asking what should your reaction be? All right. My girlfriend had expressed that she wishes multiple times that my ex-wife dies a horrible death. Wow. Simply for being my ex-wife. And this time, there have, quote in parentheses, there have been 2 previous times, she wished that I would die as well. And also that, quote, all of us, implying my ex-wife, me, and our 2 children, die a, quote, horrible death and lose arms and feet first, end quote. Insinuation of diabetes possibly being inherit in the family on the ex-wife's side. Then the next day, she confirmed by text that she did express the wishes of death. Usually it is denied, and advised me to grow up because, quote, everyone eventually dies and no one has died it from her wishes, end quote. Seeking any advice that you can give me. Snap the fuck out of whatever fugue state you in with this, quote, girlfriend and cut this shit off. Are you out of your mind? This shouldn't even be an issue. Okay, it's one thing if she, because people would say, well, I wish that bitch would just die or something. Okay, casual, in passing, nothing serious. But the fact that she said it several times, and now she want to include you and your 2 minor children into it too, those are like a parade of red flags, dude. Get away from this chick. See, this is you have a perfect out now, because all you have to say is, you know what? While you was talking about my ex, I thought it was weird, but well, whatever. That's just whatever it is. But now you twisted that up and you're going to involve my kids. Bitch, I'm going to tell you what, if anything does happen to my children and I know that your wishes is a part of it, I will come after you with not only the law, but everything that I got to make sure the one that's getting buried first is you. So what we're going to do in order for us both to keep up above ground and everybody out of jail, I don't want to ever see your fucking face again. Don't you call me. Stay the fuck away from me and my kids. If you come near me again, I'm going to show these texts to the police where you wishing everybody would die, and you're going to have a lot of explaining to do. Yeah, she's stupid. I mean, she's something that's not normal behavior. Wishing diabetes and lost limbs, rotted limbs and stuff off of somebody. Oh, I had a neighbor who had that. And he was, okay, we were talking about diabetes. He was really small too. Skinny little dude. But he got into the elevator. My mother was there. My mother was an RN, right? He gets in the elevator with us where I used to live, was like on the 3rd floor. And when he got off, he got off before we get into the car. My mother said, did you smell that smell? I said, yeah, what was that? She said, he's got gangrene. Most likely he's losing a toe or something from diabetes. And then I thought about it. I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, I did see, I signed for delivery for them of some insulin. And then I put a note on the door telling them I had signed for it because they weren't home. And I knew he need, it's medicine, so he's going to need it. And so that I had to just knock on my door and I would give it to him. So that's the reason I knew he had diabetes, because, there's a prescription that said insulin on the box. And so my mother said, yeah, it was a sweet, sickly kind. It was just this weird smell. And she said it was that decaying gangrene thing where they get their toes and stuff cut off. Yeah, she wishing death on the kids. See, that's where I draw the line. This shit here is over, chick. Question number 24, female 42 to 49 from Charleston, South Carolina. Summary of issue. How do I tell the man that I'm seeing that his home is gross? I am 49 and I'm seeing a 57-year-old man whose home is less than ideal in the cleanliness department. It's actually very bad. There's food caked on the outside of the microwave. His cookware is so caked with gunk that it is impossible to tell if the pans are non-stick or not. And the final straw was the other night when I sat down on the couch and I found a toenail trimming next to me. At least it wasn't a booger. Okay. Then she writes Deb with a whole bunch of exclamation marks. I already know that if I say something, I'm going to come across as a complete asshole, but something needs to be said some kind of way. How do I tell this man to clean his home? You don't tell him that. What you do is you tell him, I will never set foot in your nasty pig pen thing household again until you clean that shit up. I started itching when I was in there in that place. Why was a toenail sitting on the couch next to me watching Netflix with me? I'm sorry. I have to make jokes because this shit is so stupid. Yeah. I'm sorry. I couldn't hang. You good? Because once I found that toenail, I would have been like, I gotta go. I have to leave. Yeah, all she got to do is stop going. You know, tell him you're not gonna go because it's too house is nasty. Say, I'm not coming back to your house. And he's gonna say, why not? Say, because it's gross. I thought that it was like Ben and his crew was gonna jump out. Willard and shit was gonna be coming out and sitting on the couch with me. But I did find a toenail sitting on the couch next to me. That's a little bit too much for me. So I won't be going back to your house. And he's gonna be like, not understanding your sense of sick, twisted sense of humor, the one that I have. He would probably not get it. And I said, that's all right. You don't have to get it. What you do need to get though is a mop and a broom. That's what you need to get. So I'm cool. Yeah, I don't, because that kind of stuff. See, the next thing you know, you got lice and you bringing fleas and shit into your house and dust mites and whatnot. Nah, I'm good. I put on my carpet before I vacuum, I have that diaphanous earth. I sprinkle that shit all over and they leave it down for a day or so. And anything like any dust mites or any kind of little whatever's in there, it kills them because it cuts the exoskeleton uh of their, their little bodies. And then they just die right there on the spot. You don't even have to do nothing. That's what I do. And then I go and vacuum everything up. And I do that every week. Because I don't want no critters in my house. You go up in my house, you need to be paying some rent. I haven't seen myself signing no leases, so you don't get to live here. Use Q-tips in the sink? What? That clogs up the plumbing. Ugh, he probably did think that, Jennings, but since he didn't, but then again, that could be his version of clean. We don't know, but I was telling you, I start itching when I get around stuff like that. I just think, I'm looking like this, and I'm thinking stuff's gonna start jumping on me, and I start itching, itching, and I just, I look like a crackhead. I can't do it. So I can't be like that. I don't even like to go to people's houses that have pets. They have dogs and stuff inside. I'm not trying to go to your house because most likely you got fleas, and they're like, oh, we don't have any fleas. We use a flea. I don't give a shit. Those things fail. And you got your dog going outside and stuff. He probably brought ticks in the house and stuff anyway. Y'all let the dogs eat your food and jump up on the furniture. And then you want me to sit on the furniture with dog hair and shit? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not coming. I'm just not going to go. I believe animals belong outdoors. That's where they should be. Let's move on. Question 25. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group from the UK. Summary of the issue. I just ended a relationship. I ended a relationship with a great guy. We had been together for a year and a half. It was nothing personal towards him because he really is great. But he has 2 children and I have a son of my own. I ended it because I just could not see myself long term with them for a few reasons. The number one being our parenting styles are clashing big time. It's in a different stage of life. I think things could have worked between us, but that's not reality right now. And I was feeling drained by the logistics of the relationship. And unfortunately, as a solo parent to a very small child, I wanted my time back to focus on him. I want to be the best mom that I can be to him. And I couldn't do that in the relationship as if I were to take on him and his kids full time. I know this was the right decision for me and was the stage of life I'm in right now, but damn, it still hurts. I guess I'm looking for words of encouragement. Well, yeah, you're prioritizing your child, and that's what you should do. And you should see the handwriting on the wall. If you have a different parenting style, then it's not going to work anyway. It says you start blending households and blending families, and you believe one thing and he believes something else. His kids are going to be getting away with stuff that you're not going to let yours get away with, and that builds resentments and confusion. And then his kids, knowing that they can get away with stuff, are going to start torturing and bullying your child, knowing that your child can't fight back because of your position on, violence or whatever. And so it's going to be you're absolutely doing the right thing. Deuce out now. Good job. They don't have soap in the bathroom sink because they don't wash their hands after they take a dump. That's why. They're gross. You see him, and you in that man's house and he don't have no soap in his bathroom, you should not let him ever touch you. And you know what I'm talking about. Ever. Ever. Because they can be want to touch your cheek and they want to rub you, they want to pat your hair and stuff. And then be thinking about you have shit stains on your hands and you rubbing that shit in my hair and on my cheek. That's where my mind goes. And I'm just like, ew, this is gross. Yeah. I don't know. That's it's just I just like to go to men's houses. I just really don't like it. Because they just, I don't know, they just be different. Question number 26. This is a female in the 35 to 42 age group. Summary issue. Am I being gaslit or am I crazy? A few nights ago, I got into a petty disagreement with my partner. This happens often. It always ends and always over very little petty things. He gets angry and frustrated and quickly turned into a conflict. He has no patience to listen to why I'm upset and instead dismisses me, tells me I'm argumentative and ruining his evening/week because I want to have a healthy conversation about whatever it is. He tells me I should get over it, calls me pathetic, and I need to learn how to move on. He then gives me the silent treatment until I try to talk about it again. We repeat the same cycle. He will say things like, "You're still going on about that? Why don't you just drop things? I'm so done with this. You ruined my life." And it quickly becomes him saying that he's done with me. I should leave. I'm awful to be around, etc. Then once we're at a loggerheads, everything around the house is 10 times more of a problem. And I swear he actually becomes a nasty bully, calling me lazy, just generally not being very nice. Is it normal to expect a man to want to be able to work things out after a conflict? Is it reasonable to expect at least some point that we would have a conversation about whatever happened, no matter how petty? If I just feel unheard, should I fight to be heard and seen? Am I pathetic for not just dropping petty things when I have feelings I need to express? We don't know if the things are petty because you didn't really give me any examples of what he determines is petty. So I can't really say if what it is petty. I do know that there are a lot of women who get into their feelings about bullshit that, they have feelings about it. Nobody gives a fuck because it's stupid. Now that does happen. But other times, the woman is pointing out something that has serious long-term implications for the relationship if this behavior continues, is not addressed. And the guy not wanting to hear it dismisses it because he don't want to change. He doesn't want to meet her request. He likes doing things the way he wants to. He just wants her to shut up and just, not complain about him being mistreating her, neglectful, not holding up his end of the bargain with, the children or the household chores, this kind of thing. So, but you didn't give me any examples. Usually people give me too many examples and you gave me not one. So I don't really know what to tell you about, your last question. Are you being, do you need to get over the pettiness? I can't answer that question. But I do know, my standard, and this was after, some maturity, my standard for going to an argument is to think about it. If it doesn't matter, if it won't matter in 10 years, then it doesn't matter today. That's how you know if something is a big problem long term, or if it's just, egos talking or some irritation or whatever. If it's not going to matter in 10 years, then it doesn't matter today. And that is how I finally decided to lower my stress level and communicate with people about stuff. And so, but a lot of the stuff, the conflicts that we have, it will matter in 10 years because there's abusive nature to it. There's mistreatment, there's disrespect. They're violating boundaries. It could be mental or emotional abuse, verbal abuse. It could be, issues, like I said, of neglect that's making you feel small and abandoned. There's things that have big implications, but the person who's doing that behavior generally wants to do that behavior, and so they're not trying to hear it. So, they're trying to tell you that it's petty and stupid because they just want you to leave them alone and just be happy with whatever crumbs that they give you versus you getting the kind of relationship that you actually need. So what I say in a situation like this, you've always, you've asked for this change repeatedly. It's time for you to make a decision. This man's not giving you the relationship that you need. Why are you still there? That's what you have to ask yourself. I can't answer that question for you. Why are you still there where you have to ask for someone to communicate with you, ask for someone to listen to you, ask for someone to take you seriously over and over and over again. Ask for communication for your partner, ask to help resolve problems. He's not trying to do any of that. He's just not trying to do it. So then the onus then is on you. If this is the kind of relationship, this is all he's offering, and you're not happy there, why are you still there? So you figure that part out. That's the answer to your advice question. All right, I'm going to take a break because my legs are getting like going to sleep and shit. Let me see. Where's my thing? I keep always forgetting it. Where did I put it? Hold on. Oh, here it is. Oh. Okay, I'm back. Had to have me a snack too. It's like my stomach is growling. This is not good. I'm around of energy. Then I had to use dental floss to make sure I didn't get on here with bits of food between my teeth. It's just like a whole thing. Had to go through this whole thing. So, yeah. So let's finish the rest of this up. This is the most advice questions I've ever done in my life. It's 40 questions. I'm glad you guys are hanging in here. I know Tracy, if she were here, is she here? I forgot to look. Is in heaven because she always wants these long ass. I see you guys over there dancing. Yes, it's time for snacks. Tracy always was talking about we need to have like a 24-hour stream. I like you. Nobody said you can't have one, but I won't be there. I tell you that. I already know the answer there. Okay, so let's look at the next question. We finished up talking about petty things. Let's go to question 27 of 40. This young lady is in 45 to 52 age group. Well, I guess she's not that young. From the UK, summer issue. Shouldn't my first date and I just meet halfway? I am 45 and I'm supposed to meet this guy who's 39 for a first date. We live 2 hours apart outside of a major UK city. I said we could meet halfway. He's saying that he would like to be a gentleman and come out my way so I don't have to drive. But I feel his intentions would be to stay here afterwards as it would be convenient for him. Or he said I could come by out to him because there's a lot to do and I could stay by his so I don't have to drive back in the evening. I said we should just meet halfway, but he seems reluctant on the idea of that. I am looking for a relationship as he says he is as well. But I feel that he's also want to hook up on the first date, and I'm not down with that. Do I make that clear to him? How exactly? And if he isn't willing to meet halfway, should I just tell him I don't think it's going to work? You have that right. There's no reason for you to have him, come out your way and then try to pressure you to stay at your place, or for you to go out his place for him to expect you to stay at his. You don't know this clown. It's going to be a first date. Who would do such a thing? That is so risky. It's like you would never be seen again and nobody would know where you were, what he looked like or nothing. So I would say, go with your gut. Do what feels good to you. If he doesn't, he doesn't want to do that, which would seem like would make the most sense, then basically you're right. He's trying to figure out a way that he can angle you to somebody's mattress, either the mattress at his house or the mattress at your house. He's not trying to just meet you to have, just to get to meet you as a person and hang out and find if you guys even have any compatibility. So what you can do is say, well, I'm telling you that what I feel comfortable doing, and you keep trying to get me to do something else. So I'm going to tell you that there's no point in us meeting then. That's what you do. He's a stranger from the internet. It's not like you owe him anything. And most guys are savvy enough to know, having reading headlines all over the world about what happens with some of these internet dates, that if a woman tells you she doesn't feel safe doing what you suggest, then you do what she suggests so that she feels safe. And it's not really no skin off of your back, but the fact that he keeps insisting that you do what he wants and do it the way that he wants you to do it is, to me, he's not showing the proper concern or respect. So I would just tell him, I told you what would feel safe for me. You don't want to do it. And so let's, not talk anymore. And let's move on. No biggie. Oh, you love the long videos too? I guess we just got a new group of folks because people used to complain, your videos are too long. 2.5 hours for live stream. It's like, that's short. That's too long. Everybody else's live stream is short. And now we started doing these 4-hour things and everybody's loving them, going crazy. I guess it's new people. I don't know what to say. Question number 28. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from San Luis Obispo, California. Third issue. I am pregnant and my boyfriend is driving me crazy. I'm starting to think I should just break up with him, but I'm worried about being too hasty. How do I do this? You're 18 to 21. What are you doing? My boyfriend and I are both 20 and have been dating for around 8 months. And I found that I was pregnant a couple of days ago. I had missed a cycle, so it took some tests and both were positive. I told my boyfriend because he had the right to know. Why? Why does he have the right to know what's going on with your body? Okay. And I told him I was going to get a termination. He was not very happy and told me that I should at least think about it and that he thinks I shouldn't make such a hasty decision. See, that's why you shouldn't have told him. If you had just gone and handled your business, he would never have known and wouldn't have an opinion on it because really he ain't your husband and it's your body. So to me, they don't really have an opinion. Or they could have one, but it don't count for nothing. Let's read on and see what else is happening in your life. This really annoyed me because there was no way that I was going to be giving birth and raising a baby anytime soon. I'm nowhere near mature enough to do that, and my boyfriend isn't either. We'd also been using condoms, and it wasn't like we had been reckless. However, my boyfriend then told me that I told him to take it off once we were having nook after meeting some friends, which I would never do. I must have been quite drunk, but he said that he thought that I take BC. So that was our first argument in the situation. Okay, so what really happened is he wanted to take it off. See, that's the thing about alcohol. Alcohol doesn't put new ideas in your head. Alcohol lets you freely say what you want to say. And if you know that you're not your conscious mind, that's why you did all these protective things, is not to be somebody's mama, then that would not be a comment that you would make if you were drunk. You're being gaslit. That was a decision that he made, most likely because he wanted to get you pregnant. My daddy used to warn me about guys like this. I then called my doctor and she examined me and then she sent in a termination request. I then told my boyfriend I was getting an abortion in about a week and that I'd like him to be there. Well, second mistake. He said there's no way I'm going to do this without his input and that is his baby too. So I asked one of my good friends if she could come along with me instead. I'd already told her about what had happened and she agreed with me that I'm making the right decision. My boyfriend later apologized to me and said that he was sorry for acting like it was his decision and that he'd go along with me. But I told him my friend was already coming with me. He got really mad because he doesn't really like that friend very much for some very unpleasant and petty reasons. He acted like I chose her just to spite him, but I'm really chose her, and a lot of my other friends are on holiday and even overseas at the moment. And when he started going on about how much he hates all my friends and how they're so shallow and vain and encouraged me into so many bad habits, which literally has nothing to do with any of this. I'm getting completely sick of him. I don't know if it's just the hormones making me initiate the situation, but it's truly driving me mad. It feels like every time I make a decision for myself, he has a breakdown. This sort of thing has happened before when I went overseas with some friends and he seemed convinced that I was going to cheat on him. Or when I go visit a friend a couple of days, he's so cynical and always bringing up my father and saying that I'm too dependent on him or going on about how annoying and bitchy my friends are. I'm just starting to not see his point in this anymore. I'm worried that I am overthinking this and the pregnancy is messing with my brain. Nope, you're seeing everything totally. What's happening in pregnancy is messing with your brain, but in a good way. It's making you see what a bullshit motherfucker you've been spending all this time with the last 8 months. Who bitches about their girlfriend's friends except a controlling idiot? And how you had to do to shut him down about, my baby too. And I said, well, how many thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars do you have in the bank to support a child? And he would say, I don't have no money. And then you would say, well, then you ain't gonna have no baby either. And as a matter of fact, you're not gonna have no girlfriend either. Because I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of you. And you talking about my friends are whiny and annoying and bitchy. You're the bigger bitch than all of them put together. That's what I would have told him. And see, I wouldn't have cared that his feelings got hurt because I'm done with the relationship anyway. He accuses you of cheating and all this kind of stuff. See, this is somebody who's not really wrapped too tight. And there's something wrong with him. And I'm kind of concerned about you breaking up with him because the way his behavior is so controlling, like trying to isolate you and stuff like that. These are the typical behavior patterns of an abusive man. And a lot of times these types of guys, when they feel like you're abandoning them, you're throwing them away, they get weird and they want to start stalking you and all this kind of stuff. So you be careful. Make your parents and everybody aware of what's going on. I mean, you don't have to tell them about the termination, but you might want to do that too. So they know the full scoop. And so that your friends and family can rally around you and protect you from this guy in case he flips out. I saw a case on Instagram the other day. The mother was getting I'd be laying in the bed because, you'd be bored and there'll be shit to do. I'm trying to wind down so I go to sleep. So I'm flipping through. And I saw this case where a woman was talking about how a guy her daughter had dated like 5 years ago pulled up in the driveway behind their car. They go in the house, and then he comes knocking on the door, and they told him, to go away, and he didn't want to go away. And so somehow he made it into the house. The father had warned him, I have a gun. Don't try it. And dude came in anyway, and daddy shot him. Shot his ass dead. Saved his daughter. I mean, he obviously came there with no good intention, and they showed him on the Ring camera. He looked like a nut, like he was high on something. And another case they showed where this black man, the other guy was white, was supposed to be going to an anger management class. He shows up at the baby mama's house where his 2 kids are, breaks down the door, got him, grabbed a knife from the kitchen and started coming at her. Luckily, she had a gun. She shot his ass in the head and dropped him. No charges were filed in either case. I was like, because I mean, he's on the Ring camera just threatening to kill her and beating down the door. I mean, he kicked the door down to come in the house to get to her and the kids with a knife. So obviously, he had ill intent. And so, yeah, mommy dropped his ass. Like, you ain't hurting me or my kids, not today. And so, yeah, there you go. I was loving every second of it. I was, yes, this is great. This is a happy ending. If I've ever seen one in my life, this is better than Hansel and Gretel and all of them put together. Hansel and Gretel, they pushed the witch into the oven and baked her ass alive. I was like, ooh, this is a nice twist to the ending. Okay, wait, as another aside, me and my side stories. Okay, as another side, so you flipping through all these things on YouTube and TikToks and all these things. I don't know where I was. I really wasn't really tripping on this group called BTS, little Korean boys. But I was watching the videos and stuff, and they're extremely talented. I was like, wow, where have I been? And I heard of them, but I just really wasn't, really following them. And then, but I saw something that was disturbing. I don't know if you guys have seen this. They're cute and they're young. I mean, some of them just now getting into their 30s. They started in their teens. And they have these things. They had these grown men who are like, like from America, UK, I mean, different countries where they travel to be interviewed. And they had these clips online of these grown men and women who are MCs and stuff, copping feels on these kids. I mean, groping them, rubbing on them, forcing them into positions where they're humping them and kissing them and stuff like that. And their managers don't pull the people away and do anything to protect those young adults. Okay, well, now they're all, adults and they can do whatever they want to, I suppose. But it was just shocking to me. These people, these men and women are so fucking bold. This is what they do on camera. Can you imagine what those kids were exposed to behind closed doors? That's where my mind went with it. I don't know if I would feel comfortable with my child trying to be an idol. I'd have to be there with them every fucking second watching everything. And the way that the kids looked, like there was the one where John Gook was sitting and this white guy, I mean, you could tell the guy is gay. I mean, not like that has anything to do with it, but the way he was looking at John Gook, like, I want to eat you. And John had the shorts on and stuff, and he was so uncomfortable. He was pulling his shorts down. He was covering his crotch area because the guy kept looking there. And John Gook looked so uncomfortable. And V and all the other ones caught it, right? And they're looking at the dude. And so they showed V's fist balled up and standing there with his hand protectively on John Gook's shoulder. And the guy, he didn't make a move to come towards him or anything, but his look, he was like leering at him. And it was like everybody was uncomfortable. I was watching it and I was uncomfortable. And it's like, can you imagine being subjected to that all the time? Because they're cute, And then poor Jimin, this big fat host of some company of one show, grabbed him from behind, so what he's humping him, and like put him in a chokehold like this, and then turned his head so he could kiss him on the cheek. And the other host did the same thing. So he had to get kissed by 2 men on full camera. That he in the position, like, he was a highly sexualized position for, gay nook. And, these dudes are standing there doing this to them on camera in full public view. So, like I said, what in the world is my imagination? What did these kids have to experience behind closed doors where nobody was witness to it? I felt really sad for them. I mean, they're all multi-millionaires and successful and stuff now, but that kind of stuff, I don't think it ever leaves you. It was really bothersome for me to see that. And these are online. I mean, you could watch them yourself. And yeah, I saw that too. So anyway, that was just an aside about me being on TikTok, watching some shit that I didn't even know that I didn't miss. But I was highly impressed with their dancing abilities and their singing and all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, where have I been? Did I miss all this action? Yeah. Yeah, they're all in the military. Well, one of them out now, but the other 6 are still in there. I think one of them gets out in June or something, another one, and then the rest of them don't get out till next year. Yeah, but it was very sickening. But I do like how, and there was another one where this big old fat older guy, ran up to Jimin, and he, like, Hobie was in front, not Hobie, what's the other group? You starts with a Y. I can't remember. But anyway, he was standing there kind of beside Jimin, and this big old fat man comes up to like give him a hug and then rubs his hands down. So he strokes his butt. Again, on camera in full public view, all these people there at the ceremony and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in Korea with these grown men and these little boys? They're like children. They're young. I was just so through. But yeah, watch for those and you see what I'm talking about. It just was bizarre to me. I don't know why the management company would allow that kind of shit to go on. Because like me, if a host is the people outside security there, the bodyguards and stuff, why did you not step up to and push that dude off? Like one of the members stepped in front of Jimin and put him to the back, and so the dude wasn't interested in him, so he stepped off. But and then I remember there was one with this black girl too, and this Asian woman with Jimin, the same thing. They're hosts of they're interviewing him, and they just have to keep touching him, And the Asian woman, she was like chasing him on the stage and stuff to be rubbing on him and stuff like. And it's like that's highly inappropriate. Keep your hand. Where was the security guards, the bodyguards? They should be stopping that kind of stuff. All these people should be putting their hands on them like that, and subjecting them to that kind of stuff. It's like sexual assault right on television. And they're, young. They're young. I mean, John Gook, they're not even 30 yet. The last 2, I think they're 29 and he's 26 or 7 or something. And then the other ones are in their early 30s. So, this has been going on for a long time, since they were teenagers. I'm like, man, I couldn't be their mama because I'd be down there raising holy hell and beating somebody's ass. And they said even in the military that some of the other idols, are having like panic attacks because all the people want to stare at them, because they have group showers and people are taking videos of them and pictures of them and stuff that, they're scared is going to get released online, and, they're going to end up on some popcorn site or something. They don't know what's going to happen. So these little idols, that's Korea has this mandatory military policy. South Korea, all the young men have to do a stint in the military. Well, maybe they ought to make that a different situation for people who are public figures. They shouldn't have to serve like that. They shouldn't be exposed to that kind of stuff. They can still do something for their country, but it shouldn't be that. They should be doing something else. They can work in an office or some shit. I don't know what to say. But to subject these young men and women, young men rather, to that kind of like the ogling of those people that are there and, photos of them and stuff like that, that's inappropriate. That shouldn't happen. They shouldn't have to be subjected to that. And you're not in a time of war. I don't know. I don't understand. I disagree with that policy. I think we need to redo the draft here, though. I'll tell you that. Quiet on the Set. No, I did not. I didn't never heard of it, but where is it at? Where is it playing? Is it on Netflix? Well, all them people, I'm always suspicious of any people that choose to work with children. There's a reason why they made that choice. Mm-hmm. So my hackles are always raised. I look at that, especially men working in like daycare centers and stuff like that, where they're gonna be having access to little kids. I mean, people say, "Well, you shouldn't think like that. This old fashioned, whatever the fuck. As long as they not around my kid, and you want them to have them around yours, feel free." But every time I see a man in the daycare center, I get suspicious. What you doing? Why you not doing some manly shit? Why you messing with little kids? Get out of here. Let's move on now. I did enough of my side stories. Oh, I don't have HBO. I'll try to see if I can remember to watch when I go to my cousin's house. So she got 900 different channels. They have everything. Okay, let's move on. Question 29. This young man's 22 to 27. His girlfriend's 28 to 34. Summary of issue. My girlfriend told me that she thinks I like her weight gain. Though I am still attracted to her, I should tell her that that isn't accurate. Despite often emphasizing her goal of losing weight, my girlfriend, she's 31 and I'm 26, has gained weight recently. Not a huge amount, but somewhere around 15 pounds more than when we started dating. So that's a size and a half in clothing. We've been dating for 9 months and things are great. We both love each other and we're both clearly more attracted to each other. And our nook life, which started out good, has only improved and recently has been great. My girlfriend regularly brings up her weight gain, insecurities, and concerns about being attractive or even being afraid of gaining more. In response to this, I always tell her the truth that I am very attracted to her, but I think she's super hot, and I don't think that she's chunky, quote, whatever chunky is, and that I love all of her body. I emphasize and demonstrate these feelings as often as I can in many ways as I can. And I think it's abundantly clear that I'm being genuine. Today, she somehow casually, playfully told me that she thinks that I like her, quote, chunkiness, as she calls it. I didn't really know how to respond, as I didn't really respond beyond a smile. I want to be super careful and protective of her self-image because she's truly so much more beautiful than she thinks she is, even at her higher weight. And she has insecurities related to her experiences, what she referred to as being, quote, fat for most of her life prior to meeting me. But the truth is, if I had to choose my preference, it would not be for her to be at her higher weight. I still find her attractive, but I do think that she would look better losing some pounds. What I would prefer most would be for her to follow through on the weight loss goals that she set for herself. Her goals are 100% her own, and I think that her being happy with and following her own goals related to her own body are more important than anything else. But I do think that maybe I should be honest with her now that she's come out and stated what she thinks my preference is, that what she said is not really the case. But Deb, how on earth do I do that without making her feel bad or hurting her self-image? In case it's relevant to your trainer mind, I'm in above average shape. Okay, he must be listening to this show. I'm in above average shape, and I've been pursuing my own fitness goals over the last year or so, weightlifting and bulking up to 220 pounds. I'm currently cutting and am down 38 pounds to 182, the goal of cutting down to 175. Since our first date, we bonded over shared interest in the gym and fitness, and she's normally more consistent. She's just stayed straight from her goals recently. Okay, well, what you need to ask her is why? Why is she strayed from her goals? And ask her if there's anything you can do to help her get back to her goals. And you don't say how tall you are, but I'm trying to figure out why you want to be 175 and you're already down to 182. That should be good. I don't know. Personally, I don't like skinny ass men. I like men with some bulk on them. I want you to have some muscles, but I don't want to feel like I don't want to see veins and shit all over your body. That's not cute to me. I just want to see, you should have a layer of some kind of something so that when I feel you, I don't feel bones and hard stuff. I want to feel a little bit of softness. So I think you should stop now. I think 182 is good. Just continue weightlifting and doing your cardio. You'll be all right. As far as her goes, yeah, find out what's going on with her. Why why did she stop? And to say, well, the other day you said that you think I like your chunkiness, and it's like not even husky. It's a difference. Okay, there's like the super lean men, like like where you look at them, you can see the veins in their arms and all that kind of stuff. That's too much. I like how basketball players are. They're in top physical form. Top physical form. They have muscles, like sometimes they have six packs and stuff like that. But when they take off their shirt, like you see in their arms, you don't see all the veins and stuff. But you know them dudes are strong and you know that they're fit. That's what I like. So, you know, they have a layer of a little bit of extra body fat, but they need that because they burn it. You know, they're using so many calories and burning so much fat for their work. But that's what I'm talking about. That look. I like that basketball player look. I don't like those when they're too skinny and they, you know, all their veins are showing and all the lines in their muscles and stuff. It's just that's too much. That looks gross to me. But definitely not husky men either. I don't like that either. I'm very particular about the type I like. And it's just, that's the only kind I'll look at too. It's just really weird. But I'd start with that, sir. But you know, you definitely need to clarify her that when she's thinking that you like her chunkiness, say, no, I like you. But the chunkiness, you know, where you are now, that's pretty much about the limit. I don't think we should be going any higher than this 15 pounds that you've already at. Just stay here or, you know, drop down, whatever was comfortable for you. But I just don't want you going around thinking that I like, you know, like it. It's okay. I mean, because I love you so much. But, you know, you just taking that aside as a separate entity. No, I'm not a fan. Just be honest with her. So she's going through thinking that it's okay for her to balloon up in size to 500 pounds or some shit. And she's going to be calling it chunky. Like, no, bitch, you fat. You done lost your mind. Question number 30. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. Summary of the issue. My boyfriend just watches me struggle and doesn't help me. Have you asked him for help? Do you just assume that he's a mind reader? For context, I've been with my boyfriend for 9 years. We've been living together for 4, and he's been mentioning how he's going to ask me to marry him soon. He's very well off man. He even has over $1 million in assets and a couple of million to inherit in the near future. I, however, am broke and in debt. I normally manage my financial situation without any issues. I generally pay my bills in time and pay down my debts, but recently work has slowed down. I've been earning significantly less. I've been very stressed about my situation and unable to pay my bills. He has noticed how stressed I am, but I haven't wanted to mention what's going on because I'm embarrassed. He kept pressing on me to tell him what's wrong and because he thought it had to do with him. So I finally told him it's not about you, it's me. I'm having money issues and stress. Okay, that's very vague. He didn't respond and continued on as if I didn't even say anything. He even tried to have nook with me within minutes after I told him, but it wasn't in the mood. I'm stressed out. This didn't seem to bother him. He continued on with his day as normal. That's because that's just like saying I'm uncomfortable. I'm stressed out. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. You're trying to judge him for not helping you when you actually didn't give him an opportunity to tell him what you need from him. This is poor communication on your part. Let's see what else you did. I am very upset and hurt that he didn't seem concerned about my problems after begging me to tell him what was wrong. If he didn't feel responsible or obligated to help monetarily, you'd think he'd offer emotional support by giving advice or offering to help me find a solution. After all, he does supposedly want to marry me. Am I wrong in feeling upset that my struggles didn't faze him at all? I feel so hurt. I feel as though if we are going to get married, what's the point? We're supposed to be a team, but we're obviously not. What should I do? You should sit him down and be fucking honest. Just like you said, you didn't want to tell him because you were embarrassed. Where's the teamwork in that? You hiding stuff from him, and then you want to turn around and blame him for not being a fucking mind reader when you didn't tell him. You've got to tell me and shit, okay? They need it to be spelled out. You can say, look, I need some financial assistance. My work has slowed down. I'm not making as much as I used to. I'm stressed. I'm on edge. I can't afford to pay these bills. Can you pay these for me this month? That's what you do. You give him something concrete and then you hand him the bill so he can see how much money it is. Then he'll probably going to say, is this all you need? That's when you say no, because I need some groceries and I need, I don't know, some gas in my car and this and that and blah, blah, blah. You have to tell him how he can help you. You haven't done that. You just hit him with that, well, I'm stressed out. Because I'm having money. What the fuck does that even mean? I'm a woman and I don't know what you're talking about. Well, what does that mean? Are you gonna have money trouble till you get another paycheck? Is this like long term? I mean, what's going on? But people are too polite to be trying to nose in your business like that. If you need their help, though, you have to open up and tell them what they can do for you and how as much is going, what you need, what your needs are. You didn't do that, and then you want to hold him to some kind of standard of being mad at him because you didn't. Because he's not a fucking mind reader. I haven't met that man yet. The only ones who I've ever met who were able to kind of read the lines like between women are men who have a lot of sisters because they've learned woman speak. Especially if they're the youngest, they got older sisters. They learn woman speak at a young age, and because it's all around them. Those men are rare though. Most dudes, you have to spell it out for them, and then you spell it out, and then if he doesn't meet your needs, well, then your 9 years has been wasted, and you can leave him with a good conscience and go and get you 2 jobs because you will have the time once you dump him. Question number 31. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Vancouver. Summary of issue. He is not reaching out to me after our second date. Okay. Why should he have to? Let's see what's going on here. I went on a date with this guy on Wednesday, and it was really good. We had fun, laughed a lot. He asked me for my number and asked for a second date. We met the day after and played golf. He was a bit different and wasn't very talkative like he was on our first date. It felt strange. When I got home, I messaged him and told him that it was fun and thanked him, and he asked if I think we're compatible, and I told him that I'm honestly not sure, and then asked him how he feels, and he said, I'm not sure either. He hasn't texted me yesterday. No, he hasn't texted me yesterday, but viewed my story on Instagram. Does he maybe need time to think? Should I wait for him to reach out? I'm not sure if it's too early to message him and to ask if he's still interested. Why would you say that you don't know if you're compatible and then expect him to express all this interest? You gave him the brush off by saying you don't know and all this old stuff here because you felt like that was honest, but yet you are pressing him to see if he's still interested. You're confused. A woman who's interested in a man would say, I don't know if we're compatible yet, but I like what I see so far, and I want to explore you, get to know you better. That's how you say it if you want to keep seeing him. You didn't say that, though. You just said, I don't know. And then turned around and asked him, what do you think? And so, of course, he's going to follow your lead and say, well, I don't know either, because he doesn't want to be hurt either by liking somebody who doesn't really like him back. Secondly, you're doing your dating all wrong. He saw you one day. You're not supposed to be available the next day. I'm sorry, I already have plans, but I can see you. And then you give him another date when you can see him, like next Tuesday or something like that. You put some space between it. You don't see like you just got nothing going on in your life that he can just ask you for some shit and 12 hours later, your ass is ready to go. That's desperate and shit. Like you don't even have a fucking life. That's not how you handle yourself with men. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, it was 2 days. They had 2 days. But still, girl, you doing the absolute most. Question number 32. This is a female in the 35 to 42 age group from Lexington, Kentucky. Summary of issue. I would like advice on how to manage anger as a woman without being overly passive. You asking the wrong person. Even though I am 36, I'm trying to figure out the balance between standing up for myself and unnecessarily raising my blood pressure. Any insight you can offer is appreciated. Standing up for yourself and unnecessarily raising your blood pressure. Well, if you start with the video on this channel called Controlling Your Emotions, which is, I kept telling you, it's the cornerstone of your success in any relationship, whether it be at work or in your private life, you have to learn to control your emotions. When women don't control their emotions, they have problems, which is like what you're talking about, the blood pressure issues and stuff like that. You control your emotions because when you approach a problem and dealing with conflict with an individual, you want to approach it from a logical, reasonable, solutions-oriented position. How can I, get this person, how can I get this person to do what I want them to do in the fastest, most expeditious manner possible, and for them to see it as a beneficial choice? That's how I operate, especially at work. This is how we're going to do things. And as far as my personal life with my friends, if they do something, I count to 10. I said, okay, well, we need to talk about what you just did or what you just said. Because I didn't like that shit. And then I tell him why I didn't like that shit and tell him what I want him to do to solve that problem. And I'm talking the same tone of voice I'm talking right now. I'm not getting my pulse accelerated, my blood pressure high. I'm just going to tell you about yourself. Now, what you choose to do about it is your decision, of course. But if you don't do it the way that I want you to do it, then this relationship is over. Because one thing I cannot stand is disrespect, being, taken for granted, being mistreated, talked to like I have a tail, these kind of things. We're not doing all that. But I tell people one time, we give one chance. Well, I had a friend, this girl I met at a job. We stayed friends for 20 something years. And she was from Memphis. And she had some friends that she grew up with, like went through, school with and stuff, like all from middle school up to college and stuff. I guess they live in the same neighborhood or whatever. And they had this way of communicating where they addressed each other as bitches. So they said, bitch you this and bitch you that. Okay, so that was her term of affection. That's how they grew up, right? So when she meets me, she liked me and we're friends, we hanging out and whatnot. And then suddenly, bitch this and bitch that. I'm like, wait a minute. Deborah wasn't raised like that, okay? Been raised with some brothers. I never got called that kind of thing ever, and not by my female friends either. So rather than fight with her and go into this big land of craziness, I sat her down one day. We went out for drinks. I said, okay, I need to ask you something. We've been talking and stuff, and this recently I've noticed that you started, when you address me, you say bitch this and bitch that. What is that? What is that? And then she was real fair skinned. So she got red and she said, oh, that's because I don't think it even dawned on her that she was doing it, to tell you the truth, seriously. And she's like, that's how, she grew up with these friends and this and that. And that's how how they address each other. I said, oh, I see. So I understood it wasn't maliciousness. It was her way of expressing affection that she was used to from, childhood. I said, well, I can understand that. Then I'm glad we're having this conversation, but I don't want to be addressed like that. Just call me by my name and then we'll be good. And she said, okay. And she never called me that again. Now, see how easy that was to resolve? But because I asked questions, I needed to know. I wasn't going to seethe and fume about it. She calling me a bitch and, go crazy like that, like most women do. I just asked her, I knew because it was recent. She wasn't like that at first, but I guess as we got closer, she felt more comfortable and, she was able to express her quote affection for me as her new friend. And that's how she brought me into the fold. I'm now included in her group of close friends. So now I'm, being addressed as a bitch. But see, Deborah, I don't play that shit. Once she starts calling me names in it, we get ready to fight. But I wasn't gonna fight because I could tell that it wasn't being malicious. It's hard to say. I was like it wasn't that kind of energy that she was saying it with. It was friendly and fun. That's what confused me. And that's why I asked her. But that was the answer that I got from her about that. And that's why I said, communication and being clear with people about what your expectations are and what they're doing that you don't like and what you expect them to do to fix the problem is key. And you don't get upset about it. You don't get worked up about it. Even on the job, it's like I had a situation where this woman would come and she would, like I'm talking to somebody, right? She would just walk up and start talking over us. Like what she had to say was just so important. So the first time it happened, I just looked at her. I didn't say anything because I was like, Okay, but the second time she did it, I was like, hold that thought to the person I was talking to. And then I turned to her. I said, this is the second time that you've done that. And she's like, done what? I said, we're having a conversation. You come up, interject yourself, and not only interject yourself into the conversation that didn't include you, you want to start talking about what you're talking about and talking over us. And I'm telling you right now, I don't like it. Don't you ever do that again. It's extremely disrespectful. You have something to say to me. You come up and you see I'm talking to somebody else, then you go back to your desk and you wait your turn. Better yet, just send an email. That's even better. And her face got all kind of red, and then she walked away to her desk, and then we never had that problem again. But see, that's what I mean. You have to just tell people. You don't get mad. I don't even run back to it. But she always interrupting me. Yeah. That's not necessary. Handle yourself like an adult. Speak up, and you don't never have to raise your voice. You never have to, jump out your composed state. But you do have to carefully choose your words and enunciation. can make big impressions on people when you start clipping your words. They know your ass is serious and they better listen up. Yeah, that was like because the girl I was talking to, she was like, she looked at me, she looked stunned. I was like, hold that thought. And I was like, over to her and just told her about herself right quick and sent her scurrying away to her desk. Like, go on over there, little mouse. I'll get with you when I have time, which was later in the day when I fucking felt like it. I made her wait. So stuff like that, that's what you have to do. And it's not necessary, that you stand up for yourself, but you do it in a way that is professional and that's clear. Okay. Even if it's a friend, you still be very clear with what the violation was and what your expectation is for them to fix it. And then what the boundaries are for the future. So they know never to cross it again. Then once you've laid all that out clearly, if they opt to cross the violate the boundary or cross the line again, then you know that they don't respect you and they don't care. And then you just cut them out your life. It's really simple. Question number 33. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Third issue. How would you handle this, Deb? I am at a loss. Please help. I am mortified. I am 27. I work in a public elementary school. I'm in a leadership position and have roughly 30 employees. We have several other elementary schools in our district we work very closely with, sharing staff when one site is short, etc. Earlier this week, 2 of my staff went in another school and came back reporting that they and another person in the leadership role were in the school cafe. It was empty, speaking about the kids having questions on puberty videos. Well, one thing led to another, and a male staff member in leadership, he's 29, was stating how he believes in calling body parts what they are. He then said to my female staff that they should ask me about a, quote, meat wallet. No, he did not. In school? Wow. And how I would know all about it. The staff then came back and asked me. I am mortified after looking up what it meant and the fact that I was associated with it. Honestly, I do not know how to address the situation as I'm so hurt. And mainly, I'm embarrassed. I don't want to show my face at work right now. Please help in how I can move forward. What can I do? What you do is you immediately take statements from those staff members who he said that to, and you go to the school administrator and you say, this is sexual harassment at its finest. I want this man to be written up and I don't want any further contact with him or my female staff members. And I'm terrified if this is the way that he wants to address female body parts, that he say things like this to the female students who are in the puberty classes and teaching them this kind of stuff and demeaning these girls in this manner. I would blow that shit up out of proportion, have his ass fired. Because that is the most inappropriate. You guys, I don't even want to say what it is, but I mean, if you don't know, go look it up on like Urban Dictionary or something like that, because it's a slang term for women's body parts, and it's not a good one. And it's nothing that belongs in a school with young adolescent girls and boys hearing that. This guy is so inappropriate there. See, again, men who working around kids, there's a motive there. Why he would talk to females like that. Even though the girls he was talking to were in staff, it doesn't matter. If you would say it to the staff, then you would say it to the students. Because I believe in calling stuff by what its real name. No, what you need to be calling is where I can get another job, because you done lost this one for gross misconduct, putting minors at risk and stuff like that. I mean, I would jump up some charge to fire his ass. I tell you that. This guy, oh my God. So no, you don't get out your feelings. You're supposed to be a leadership and you sit up there hiding and acting stupid. This is embarrassing to me that you even wrote this. I mean, I understand your confusion and that you had to look it up and all this stuff. Okay. But once you figured out what it was, you were supposed to immediately start putting your shit in action to get his ass fired, or at least written up, suspended for some days and stuff, some kind of punishment. That's supposed to be your motivation to do what you need to do and be a complete broom riding witch. That's what you're supposed to do. Not sit up here writing to me crying and shit. Me. I'm so uncomfortable to show my face. Stupid. I mean, I was rooting for you at being 27, being in this position, but now I see it's like totally over your head. You might be able to do the the paperwork part, but you don't have the emotional intelligence to handle this kind of position, because this shouldn't even be a question. Your role is to educate and protect those kids. That's what your job is. That's what your staff job is. And when you see someone who's a threat to those children, even if it's through the other, what he's saying to the teacher, because you don't know when them kids around listening and they hear that kind of stuff, how do you think that's going to make those little girls feel? They're adolescents. They're just really starting to, get familiar with those kind of body parts and those kind of things. And this is how a teacher that they respect talks about their bodies. How do you think that's going to make these young girls feel? They already have enough self-esteem issues, issues with themselves. And then you got a male teacher talking about them like that. Get that motherfucker up out of there. Oh my God, I'm going to go find weed on them and go bury him in the ocean somewhere. What an idiot. Question number 34. This is a male in the 35 to 40 age group from Raleigh, North Carolina. That pissed me off so much. Oh my God. Sorry, issue. My wife ended our marriage, but is trying to keep excessive contact. What should I do? You should grow a fucking spine and some balls. That's what you should do. Man, what the fuck she's trying to do? This is your house and your phone and your life. You decide who's in it. Our relationship lasted just under 3 years. We had 2 baby girls together when we were very young. We were very young. We got married last August. And honestly, that was the worst thing that could have ever happened. The relationship was a mess. Constant toxic arguments and getting far too heated. I had many reasons to leave myself and tried a few times. She ended our marriage just under a month ago, saying that my shouting when I got angry wasn't okay anymore. I accept this reason. I'm actively getting therapy and trying to be a better version of myself. Since we've been split, though, she is constantly in my business, asking me what I'm doing, who I'm going with, what I'm spending my money on, and is there any females around. It's like constant, Deb. Every other day it's a comment about me and another female. I pay my way with my kids and I ask to see them as much as possible because I adore them. I'm trying to make the situation as easy for myself as possible by limiting contact and only replying to what I need to, and only thing the pictures she sends of the kids, no actual words, but it feels like she keeps trying to suck me back in. And then when I stupidly try to get her back, she rejects me constantly. Why would you try to get back with somebody who is toxic? Oh, okay. I have repeatedly told her that my contact with her needs to be limited and we're only talking about the kids. She ignored this and finds so many reasons to just message me or start sending me excessive amounts of pictures of the children. Don't get me wrong, I love seeing pictures of my girls, but I don't feel like it's so that I don't miss out, and it just feels like a way to keep contacting me. I want to move on with my life. I have embarrassed myself far too much chasing after somebody that doesn't want me. How do I work around this without ending up getting my kids taken away from me like she has already threatened because I want limited contact with her? I feel like the whole thing for her to have this power and control over me is making me feel like a weak man. I still love her so fucking much, but I just don't know. But I know I need to let her go and move on, but it's like she doesn't really want that to happen. What do I do? Question marks, question marks. Do I stay strong and keep the minimal contact rule and stop making a fool out of myself, being available whenever she needs me, and stop the non-necessary texting and tell her how much I love? Oh, you stupid. You brought this all on yourself because you dumb. I love her. I feel like I'm becoming so weak because of it. You was weak in the first place. That's why she's playing you like a fucking violin. Let's start with these questions. Okay. Okay. Then she's constantly in my business. Ask me what I'm doing. Why do you need to know that? Who I'm going with? Nunya. What I'm spending my money on is mine. You don't need to fucking know. Are there females around? There's one, and I got a different one every day. It's constant. You see, when people ask you stupid questions, you're supposed to give them stupid answers. The next thing you do is you go and see an attorney, and you get your divorce situation set up with child custody and visitation, child support, and everything you wanted legal and through the courts. Why do you need that? Because you have protections. If she's already playing these games, she's trying to threaten you with not being able to see your kids, you want to arrest that shit and have her in a chokehold. So if she tries to pull that stunt, you can drop that dime on her ass, and the police will pick her up for violating the court order. Then then if she does it enough times, then you can fight and say, well, I need full-time custody and her parental rights to be severed, and they'll do it because her behavior would be abusive towards the children, and they don't like that. Courts don't like abusiveness. They take that shit seriously. So that's all you have to do. You sit up here fretting and acting like a big baby, like she controls your fucking life. You don't know how to call an attorney? That never occurred to you to go to family court and get the shit in writing. Have you had a whole court of the law on your side here, but you're not availing yourself of it. You're just acting like a weak pussy. And I'm not feeling it at all. I'm not feeling it. As far as these pictures and stuff, you know what you do? You get you a second phone. You turn that phone off and you let her text it and do it and whatever. And once a week or whatever, you turn it on. When you need to see your girls, you turn it on. And then you see what she's talking about. And then you turn it back off. You get you a second phone. And you don't give her that number. Okay? It's real easy. Sometimes you can just add a second phone to the line that you already have. It's only like $20 a month or something like that. I have Google Fi, and that's how it works. I can add a second line to my phone. Second phone rather to my account. That's what I'm thinking about doing. But then I don't even talk on the phone that I have. Why would I need two phones? Just for the sheer hell of it. You'd have one for play and one for work, right? I'm thinking about it's only $20, but I don't know. I already had a phone. I already have a phone I can use. Yeah, he can't because the kids are so young. But what he can do is go to court. And everything will be set out, like how much she can call him, how much he can call her, when he'll have phone calls with the kids, when he'll see the kids, drop off, pick up, holidays, school breaks, all of that. All of that is in the court order. Who pays health insurance, how much is child support, everything will be spelled out. So there won't be any questions. All this stuff he's dealing with here is because he hasn't handled his business. But he's probably still in shock since everything is, just within the last month. Yeah, it's still brand new. But telling her, reminding her, wait a minute, remember you left me, you didn't want this marriage anymore. So you have, what am I trying to say? But anyway, you've given up all your rights to ask me those kind of questions. So I'm not going to answer them. And then just stop answering her. Just tell her Nunya every time she asks the question. Nunya, Anna and Nunya. Question number 35, female 22 to 27 from Austin, Texas. Summary of issue. How do I tell a guy that I'm not interested in starting a romantic connection anymore? I am 24 and I matched with a 27-year-old guy on a dating app. I've been talking to him for about 2 weeks. I'm not really that attracted to him due to conversations having large gaps due to his work or me doing things, and I just kept replying because I was bored and had nothing to do. So y'all trying to text and have a conversation, and you are 20, he's 27 and you 24, and that's how you choosing to communicate with another person. Okay. He initially asked me to have dinner sometime during the next week, and I agreed to go once I got a job. However, he asked me out to dinner again this week, and I suddenly got scared and realized that I don't really want to be romantically involved with anyone right now or ever. So what your ass doing on the dating app then? You sound stupid. So I told him I can't go because I'm still looking for work and I didn't have a budget for it. But what if he tells me it's gonna be his treat or something? I don't want to be rude and just ghost him suddenly because he seems like a nice guy. Okay, I'm trying to figure out why you went on a dating app and you matched with a guy and you've been talking to him, you invested 2 weeks of your time with him, complaining about how fast he doesn't talk because remember, he's working. You the one that's sitting around with not a goddamn thing to do and can spend time texting all fucking day. Everybody else got to work and have stuff to do. Work, school, obligations, responsibilities. The only one who don't have that is you. But, because there's large gaps and stuff. That's because he's fucking busy, which you should be too. So he wants to take you to dinner. Well, I don't have a job, you understand? So the man wants to offer to take you to dinner. That don't have nothing to do with you not having a job. That's just your excuse. So then he asks you again, and you say you're still looking for work and you don't have the budget. So, but if he does ask you again and he's going to treat or something, shouldn't that be how it is if a man asks you out on a date? Shouldn't he be treating? You automatically assume that he was, he was going to be one of those let's go 50-50 motherfuckers. Those aren't real men. I don't know why you girls be bothered with them types of dudes. If a man wants to take you out, he's supposed to pay for it. I'm not saying he got to take you someplace expensive. You could go to Chevy's or I don't know, some little, I don't know, these little places where they had a little specials and whatnot, happy hours. He could do something like that if he don't have a big budget, but he still should pay. Now, now you say he seems like a nice guy, and you don't want to be in a relationship with him or anybody else. Then see, you're giving a mixed message. You sound confused. Close your profile on the dating app and get your shit together, chick. Then you need to get you a job, and then secondly, you need to find you some sense. Then after that, you can try to go on the dating app and find you somebody to date. Because right now, you're not really impressing me with your intellect and your decision making process. It is less than stellar, far less. All right, so let's move on. I can't roll my eyes hard enough at you in Austin, Texas, being stupid. Question number 36 of 40. We're winding down here. Female, 22 to 27 from Washington, D.C. Summary of issue. How do I distance myself from my friend / coworker? Just going to give some context first. I work with this girl who I've come to be friends with. We sometimes text outside of work and have caught up outside of work before as well. Recently, she has been showing a lot of traits that really don't align with mine. She does come from a very traditional background, so she is outwardly homophobic and has even gone so far as saying that she, quote, hated lesbians to other coworkers. Wow. At work, she says this? That's rather bold. Another thing that I don't align with is her seemingly internalized misogyny, where she has directly blamed another coworker who is underage at the time for the reason she was being stalked by a grown-ass man. Saying things like, quote, it's not a coincidence, it's happened to her twice, end quote, and quote, she obviously likes the attention, end quote. Okay. I know the kind of broad you're talking about. She needs her teeth knocked out. Alongside this, she's also very religious, whereas I am not, and because of this, holds strong views on being gay and on gender roles. I don't relate to this side of her at all, being someone who's extremely supportive and have many friends who are part of the all them letters community. Being a woman myself, who only wants to support and uplift other women, I struggle to relate to her victim blaming and the way that she talks about other women sometimes. I'm conflicted because I know it's, quote, good to have a relationship with people who have opposing views, but it seems to stem from hate rather than just an opposing view. So, Deb, do I distance myself? And if so, how do I do this since we work together? You just have to be a fucking adult. Go up to her when next time she want to be something and say, I'm very disappointed. When you say it like that, it gets people's attention and they can understand. It doesn't sound judgy, but it lets them know that, you've examined their behavior and that you're less than impressed. That's the word that I like to use. I'm very disappointed. When we started our friendship, I thought we had so much in common and we, this and that, this and that. But I've slowly come to find, you've said some things that I find deeply disturbing and inappropriate for the workplace, and also that don't really align with what what I think is the way that we should treat each other, the most godlike and Christian way of accepting any and all of God's children. Be sure to throw that in there since she's supposed to be such a Bible thumper. And so, so it just leaves me very disappointed and confused about who you really are. And so as a reflection of that, I'm going to put a little space between us because I really need to think about this. That's how you put it. It's like when people say, oh, we're going to take a break. All it is a breakup, but they just soften the blow by saying it's a break so that the person who's getting broke thinks that there's still hope, but there's really not any hope. But, it makes it easier for people to digest. And, you go on a break for 3 months or something. And by then you're used to not seeing each other. And then you go back and say, well, let's just make this permanent. And then they can, they can accept it easier. It's the same strategy that you're going to use with her. But you're just going to say, I need some time to think about this and, assess my heart and assess yours and figure out, what's going on here and how I feel about it. And then that's what you do. Then you don't go to lunch with her. You don't text her no more outside of work. You block her number so she can't text you. Stuff like that. That's how you do it. And then at the end of that 2 or 3 month period, then you say, yeah, and personally, I would just go find me a new job. Find me something that pays more money and leave that place, deuce out from her. Question number 37. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Richmond, Virginia. Summary of issue. My boyfriend tells me how attractive other women are all the time. Oh, does he now? And he's still living? Seems he is attracted to everyone but me, and I don't know if I should leave him. Well, you should have left him a long time ago because that's emotional abuse. It shocks me how you girls don't even understand that you were being abused. I'm embarrassed to admit that I'm not just dumping him but writing for advice. This involves me. I'm 34 and my boyfriend, he's 33. And we've been together for 2.5 years, but we don't live together. Thank you for those facts. I don't want to be vain, but honestly, I am above average. But date night, my dad's birthday, his brother's engagement, anytime I'm dressed up, he doesn't say anything about me looking good. It took me 2 years to notice this because I'm secure and confident in myself. And then all of a sudden, it's clicked that he always tells me about the attractive women at his work. The party he went to, the ones we passed on the little street that I cannot remember the last time he said I was beautiful. He obviously has lots of positive things he contributes, but honestly, I'm feeling so insecure about this. Is this enough to bail? I'm 34 years old. I just can't mess around with dating. Thoughts on this? I generally can't tell what's okay anymore. Girl. Oh, like I've said a million times, I am the type that will fight. I'm going to match your energy. I'm going to match your energy. I'm going to fight your fire with a flamethrower. I'm going to torch your ass. So he's come and tell you about all these women. You need to start telling him about all the men that you saw. All the men that tried to hit on you. All the men that said that you were beautiful. All the men that, tried to get your number. Start wearing him out with that shit. Say, and be sure that you talk about that page on Facebook that, what's it called, girls? That's Gray Sweatpants page. Say, oh, the men are packing. Why don't you look like that? Why don't you get you some of those sweatpants and put those on so we can take a picture and see if you match up with what's on that site? Because this is some scary shit. This is scary. Gray Sweatpants on Facebook. And you start mentioning that to his ass and he'll shut up real quick and pull that up on your screen and start admiring them crotches. And he will be like, what the hell is going on here? And so he won't have to tell you anything. You start getting the men that DM you and stuff. Just, start flirting back. Say, yeah, my boyfriend never tells me that I'm beautiful. So thank you for saying so. And then show him, make sure he sees those. That's what you have to do. See, you being too nice, you being too passive. What you have to do is be aggressive. You have to teach him a lesson. You have to just burn his ass up with jealousy because that's what he deserves. He's feeling insecure because you're so gorgeous. And this is a way of addressing it, trying to put you down and make you feel insecure. You're letting him do it. Don't maintain your dignity and your queen-like stance at all times. Don't. But what you do need to do is teach him a lesson. And that is how I suggest you do it. Start setting up some thirst traps and then let him see you on your tablet on the couch, admiring, honey, yes, them gray sweat. I'm telling you. And then, she would start talking about men of other races and how good and handsome they look. All kind of shit. I would just wear him out with because it'd be like, if this is good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So he want to do that? Oh, and the beard page? Ooh, okay. Okay, the girls they have some tips. They say, and go for the men that have money too. Emphasize how he don't have none. His little flat wallet. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he thinks she's like a bro. I'm thinking that this is intentional because he knows she's fly. And he's scared that if he tells her that she's fly, she's going to know that she can do better than him and that she'll leave him. So this is his way. He's not doing anything. He's calling her ugly and trying to put her down like some guys do. But it's having the same result. It's just a long game. The other one is the short-term game where they try to do it right away. He's playing the long game where he's breaking her down. It's taking years. But by him not saying anything, he's arrived at the same destination. It just takes longer to get there. Don't you see what I'm saying? It's not childish, he's abusive. He's insecure. This is his way of abusing her and putting her in her place and trying to make her feel insecure so she won't leave him. But that's why Jason, you got to turn that around and make him be very worried about you leaving because he's trying to be funny and ain't nobody laughing. It's just not funny. Honey, yes, this would just be like, ooh, too much fun. I would just wear him out. He would be gnashing his teeth in his sleep and having nightmares and shit when I got through with him. Like, you don't have to say nothing to me, but I'm going to fuck you up. That's how I like to do things. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. Let's move on to question number 38. This is a female in the 20 to 34 year age group from Yonkers, New York. No, we don't leave, Chrissy. That's not how we do things. First, we fuck you up. Then we leave you. That is the rule on this channel. You don't leave first. You fuck him up first. You have to leave him so that he will forever remember your over-the-shoulder goodbye wave and what you did before you left, made your exit. That's how you do things. You have to leave an impression. You don't just leave. So she's asking, how should I go about ending of a friendship of over 10 years? I've thought about ghosting her, but that seems a bit wrong. I need some advice. This woman seems like she never has time for me unless it's a FaceTime call for her to vent about her issues. She seldom asks how I am. She'll go out with other friends and never invite me. She's had problems with drugs and drinking and hanging out with enablers. And when I give her advice, she doesn't take it into consideration. Why would you want somebody like that to be your friend? She'd hang out with people who don't care about her, fuck everything up, and then call me crying about how she doesn't want to do this anymore. Rinse and repeat. I understand she's stressed and depressed and all that. She's got 2 kids. 2 shit baby daddies and works full time. I went to her house to clean. What? Was she paying you? And she had one of her other friends there. She left for an hour to go smoke with some random dude and spent the rest of her time in bed with her friend. Oh, and you in there cleaning and watching her kids. Do you like her or something? What is the motivation for you to do all of this? I'm curious. I think that hurt me the most because I stopped asking her to hang out because I figured she was tired of hanging around the house, and I guess she just didn't want to hang around the house with me. Yeah, it sounds like you got a little more interest here than what your quote friendship label is trying to really. You all know what I'm trying to say here. She never visited me at my place. The last few times we hung out, she always on the phone or on FaceTime with someone else. It's fucking weird. I've tried not to take it so hard, and I tell myself that I'm just more boring since I don't party anymore and have them interrupt employment for a while, blah, 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 blah. But she loves to tell me that I'm her rock. She doesn't know what she'd do without me, the best friend ever, etc. My birthday is coming up, and I don't want to deal with a call or a text from her. Should I text her and tell her that I know I'm over the friendship or just let it fade out? I want to text her and let her know, but I'm so tired of trying to make people understand how I feel or how they hurt me and then not giving a flying fuck. I understand she's constantly going through shit, but so am I. It feels unfair because I put so much into this friendship and I just feel like I just get shit on. I don't know if I should text my friend and tell her why I don't want to be friends anymore or just ghost her and wait for questions later. Well, my thing is, if you ghost her, she's likely not to notice for a while anyway. She tells you that you're her rock. Yeah, that's to keep you from giving to her. She's like a super big taker, and you a super big giver, and that's how things go. You know, it's rare that you find people who mutually give and take. In a situation like this, you're a heavy giver and she's a heavy taker. That's the most dysfunctional type of relationship. Okay, she never asks how you are. She never really has time for you. She does, pharmaceuticals. She's a drunk. She hangs out with people who don't care about her and call you crying about it and rinse and repeat, and you still there. So it's like you're codependent and she's just a nightmare. What you need to do, honey, is get you some therapy. Figure out why you got yourself stuck in this situation for so long with this woman. And then, do better by yourself. You need some help learning how to respect yourself. Like I said, I feel like I'm just reading between the lines. I'm getting the energy that your interest in her is more than as platonic, just female friends. It seems like and it might be something that you don't even realize yourself, but all the energy and time and stuff that you put in, this is not normal, just friend type of stuff. This is somebody who's trying to, who's in love with someone. That's how you're acting. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I don't care who people love, but it's something in this situation that's very unhealthy for you. That's what I'm pointing out. Whether it's be a male or a female, this relationship is toxic for you. And so you need to go and get you some help so that you can learn to be in a healthy relationship with someone who's going to love and respect you back. Because that's not what you have right now. Okay. This is not good for you. Let's move on to question number 39. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. The female is 28 to 34. Oh, so he's younger. So an issue, I'm unsure how to address communication expectations with my girlfriend during her trips. She doesn't communicate during day trips, which makes me feel a bit neglected. I'm wondering if I should express setting some basic communication expectations if I'm being unreasonable. I could use some advice on dealing with a situation involving my girlfriend. We both value independence and usually have no issues doing our own thing. However, today she told me she took a day trip to another city in the UK with her boss and flatmate, and I haven't heard from her in over 6 hours. Okay, dude. She did send a text at the start of the day, but nothing after that, even though she was active on Instagram and interacted with my story. While I don't expect constant communication and try not to bother her when she's out, I feel a bit off about not getting any updates during the day. In my view, if there's a genuine care, a simple check-in text midday and updates when arriving/leaving seem reasonable. It's not about being clingy, it's about mutual respect and reassurance, especially when she's traveling. I'm contemplating whether to talk to her about this after her trip. I want to express that while I respect her independence, getting a quick update during trips would make me feel more connected and respected. I'm worried about coming off as needy though, and unsure if my expectations for a midday check-in is too much. Should I bring this up when she's back, or am I overthinking this? How do I approach this conversation without sounding accusatory? You need to keep your goddamn mouth closed, and let me tell you why. First of all, grow the fuck up. When somebody's at work and especially her boss is right there with her, and you think she's gonna be taking time to do a midday check-in with to make your ass feel better? That's not on her. She's not getting paid for that. You got way too much free time and just thinking that you way more important than what you are when somebody's working. Her boss, and if I was the boss and I saw her texting your ass, I'd be like, put that phone away. I'm not paying you to text your boyfriend. Do you want to get your pay docked? And she would say no. Then you would say, put that damn phone away. You text him before work and after work, and that's it. If you're on breaks or something, I guess you can. But other than that, you're on company time and you're not going to be texting anybody. And that would be that. That would be the rule. And if I saw her doing it again, I would write her ass up. Now, as far as you going talking about, I'm gonna try to, what I expect. Nobody gives a fuck what you expect. You can expect whatever you want to. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. You are an adult, a young adult, and silly, but you're still an adult. Learn to make yourself feel better. Reassure your damn self. This is a talent that you should have learned in the crib. Okay, self-soothing. It's a talent that infants need to learn. You obviously didn't learn it, so you need a girlfriend to do it for you in your fucking 20s. Fuck out of here. He's sending you all these goddamn texts and checking in with your ass. You tripping. Communication expectations. You're going to keep it up and you're not going to have a girlfriend. That's what's going to happen to you. And our final question of this long ass night. They didn't outgrow each other. She's working. She's working. And she went on a trip with her boss. Did you guys miss that part? She's with her boss. Who is going to sit there texting their boyfriend if their boss is right there? I know I'm not. I wouldn't do that. You just going to wait until I'm off of work. That's what you going to do. And you going to be happy that I got reached out to you then when the boss is not sitting over there watching what I'm doing on the screen and what I'm doing when I'm getting paid to do other stuff instead of doing my work. I'm up there texting you to make you feel better. Yeah, he's something wrong with him. He's got some problems. This the kind of thing, like, for me, as a personal on a personal tip, I'm not texting you, I don't check in. If I'm married and I don't do them check-in thing, I mean, we had pagers and stuff, but still it was the same kind of thing because cell phones weren't that big of a thing yet when he died. I mean, people had them, but they were nothing like what they are now. They were like a phone, those brick phones. So you pretty much could, you could text, but it was not fun to text with all the different letters. You had to, it was just a nightmare. It's not like it is now. And so, we didn't text each other. He would call when he was on his way home and say, "You got anything for dinner? You got anything for the lunches? You got anything for breakfast? Need anything? Nope, I'm good." Or, "Yeah, we out of this, we out of that. We have this and that, this and that. Let's have some wine. Isn't it some?" Okay, then he has his mission, and he walk in the door with the bag. Okay, that was it. I'm not gonna be bothering him when he's working all day. He wasn't gonna be bothering me when I'm working all day. If it was a crisis or something, well then yeah, something happened. Like his mother fell one time. Oh, I gotta take my mama to the hospital. Where's she gonna be at? Okay, I'll pick up the baby, then we'll be right there after work. So he's okay, something like that. Well, yeah, he would call. I would call, but other than that, we didn't touch base during the day. We knew where each other was. So what is all of this? I see him when I get home. I just looked at your ass this morning and all last night. I don't need to check in with you every second of the day. So to me, a man like this, I would peg him as too needy and I would dump him. It wouldn't work for me. And so that's what I'm saying. You better watch your demands because I'm telling you, you said right in here that she was with her boss it was just a day trip. And she just, because you hadn't heard from her 6 hours, you flipping out and fucking writing the device columns, you tripping. Okay, let's read the last question. Question number 40. Female 22 to 27. Summary of issue: how to ask a guy out properly. Oh, this was a nice way to close things out. Yeah, he's just too fucking insecure. Can't deal with them insecure ass dudes. Them needy, insecure ass dudes. They need too much reassurance. They have programs for that for seniors. It's called telephone reassurance, but you know what it is? Because they're isolated and lonely and they don't have any friends or family nearby. So they have like community-based organizations, volunteers and stuff like that, who call these people to make sure they're okay and see if they need anything. And they call them every day, a couple of times a week or whatever, their schedule is. But that's what it's called, telephone reassurance. It's actual programs set up in this country, all over the country, where they do that kind of stuff. Community-based organizations do that for seniors in the community that are isolated and alone. And he is already needing telephone reassurance, and his ass is only in his 22 to 27 age group. So, okay, the last question, question 40, female 22 to 7. How do I ask a guy out properly? I just failed miserably and wondered how to do it so it doesn't come across as desperate or something. It looks so easy on TV shows. Okay, you tripping. This guy was selling stuff at a local market. I thought he was super cute, but I got a bit flustered when I find someone hot. This was our interaction, : me. Oh, you're almost ran out of. You've almost run out. Oh, okay. Him. Yeah, I know. I didn't think they would sell out so quickly. Me. Oh, that's good though. Him. Yes, hopefully can finish early and go for a walk. Me. Yeah, I hope you get to do that too. Thanks. Him. Thanks. LOL. I'm kind of shy. Smiling then from both of us, so maybe I wasn't being as obvious that I fancied him. I struggle with eye contact when I fancy someone too. Ha ha ha. No idea. He was just being polite though. He didn't want it. I didn't want to ask if he lived around here, was he new here, etc. Did he want to get a coffee later, etc. How would you feel about this? If you were a guy, would you say no if you weren't interested? I think I've lost my chance now anyway, but wondered how I can improve on this in the future. I need some Deb smooth moves. Girl, you can't handle my smooth moves because you too, no. But I'm going to tell you what you did wrong. Hold on, let me go back over here. Okay. Yeah, you've almost run out. Yeah, I know. I didn't think they would sell out so quickly. Oh, that's good though. Him, yes, hopefully can finish early and go for a walk. Me, yeah, hope you get to do that too. That was your invitation. It's like, where are you going to be going for a walk at? And then he would say, wherever he was going to walk. It's like, well, do you want some company? And then he would say yes or no. If he said yes, then you'd be like, good, I'll meet you. What time you think that'll be? And if not, then if not, and if he says, well, no, or I already gonna be going with somebody else, or whatever is his thing, it's like, okay, well, maybe another time then. Can I get your number? And then he would give it to you. Or maybe he would say, well, I already have a girlfriend, I already have a wife, whatever. But I'm just telling you how the process would go. Would I do that? No. I'm a big flirt though, but I'm never gonna ask a man out. And I'm never gonna ask him for his number either. But I will flirt my ass off though. I'd be like, well, I can see why you sold out because you fine as fuck. I would buy everything that you had too. And then, they'd be like, oh, there. Oh, girl, wait, I got to, okay, side story. So me and my friend, we go to the gym today, right? And this guy, I don't know. He looks to be like, I don't know, is he Filipino, Samoan, Fijian, whatever? I don't know. He was some kind of brown skin something and had that kind of thick curly hair. And so he could have been Latino, but he didn't look like, I think he was Polynesian. And so he had his, part of him, he had like the little tiny cornrows going back, like, diagonal. And then they had some little gold beads in it. It was very nice. And it looked, I was passing by, he had his head down. So I saw it as I was walking through the machines, and so it caught my attention, the gold caught my attention. I said, oh, look at your hair. That looks really nice. And it just came out. I mean, I wasn't like really trying to flirt with him. I just was making a comment because it did. He said, yeah, I just got it done yesterday. I said, oh, I could tell because that shit looked fresh as hell. Because you'd have to sleep on a couple of nights, it's not gonna look like that. And so then we both started laughing. And then so then my friend came over and I said, oh, look at his hair. So then he bent his head down. He's like, yeah, see? And he was showing it to us. So it was just adorable. And so we, me and her give each other the look, and we say, we started laughing. He was just the cutest little thing. And so, but I mean, it's just that easy I don't understand why it's so hard. I mean, men just rarely get sincere compliments. So if you really want to talk to them, I mean, just compliment them on something. I told you how I do if, dudes have the little goatee and stuff. I'll be like, oh, I like your beard. Or, you have beautiful teeth. Your smile is banging. You just light up the world with that grin and all this kind of shit. I just say crazy. It sounds crazy, but it's sincere and the men like it. So that's how I would always get dates. My date calendar stayed full when I was in my 20s. And so it's like, I don't understand why y'all be having so much trouble and be doing all these swipey things with all these idiots. It's not that hard. And I mean, at least, I mean, they might still turn out to be stupid, but I mean, if you do the first flirting, I mean, that gives you an opportunity to kind of screen them with your phone, with your conversation on the spot before you even exchange phone numbers. You have a conversation with him and they might decide he's stupid. And then you just be like, well, he's like, oh, can I get your number? It's like, oh, not really. I have a boyfriend, but I did enjoy talking to you though, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Just lie. It don't matter. You don't know you're in from a hole in the ground. So then just walk away. But if he's cute and the conversation is good and it sounds like it's something that, you would enjoy continuing the conversation, then you give up them digits. That's why I think I'm going to have 2 phones. Because, it's going to be about to be summertime. I need to be in the streets. Yes, I'm old, but so what? All women like dates too. And it's just, it's going to be nice weather and stuff. I'm going to get me some hoochie clothes. I'm going to be in the gym, getting myself back in shape. And I'm gonna be I need my second phone. That's gonna be my dude phone, and then I'm gonna have my regular phone. That's what I'm gonna do. At the end of summer, I could turn that one off, and everything I'll be all done with it. But anyway, that's this crazy show for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We did 40 questions, and I thought I was going to die, but I guess I'm getting used to these long ass shows, and I'm not sure about next week. I'll let you guys know what's going to be going on next week because I have some stuff coming up. I might have to miss a couple of weeks of the show, be back in action the first part of May, but I won't know for sure until probably Monday or Tuesday. Okay? And then we will chat. And I will see you, and I go to you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Alhamdulillah. And I will see you as soon as I can. Okay. Bye.